Alright, well.
This is really me?
Yep, it's really you.
I'm gonna... And we're live! Look at that. That was good. This is the 50th episode of Nerds at Large. I'm one of your hosts, Will Outlaw. Yes, really.
I am Darby Hallman. No, still a host. An infrequent host, to be fair, but still a host.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
Alright.
Well, what are we doing? I guess we can talk about some games first.
I think we do like to talk about games on this podcast that we've been doing.
Sometimes. We try.
Sometimes I just come here and talk about NFL and Kirk Cousins and stuff forever.
Bengals.
Des Bryant, no longer the Cowboys.
Which is crazy. Is Odell Beckham might also be going. The fact that Odell Beckham and Des Bryant might not be at the Giants and Cowboys anymore is kind of crazy.
So Des Bryant's staying in the division, right? That's how this works?
That's what Alex said. He's like an older dude who's past his prime. Perfect time to go to the Redskins.
You're right.
This is how these things work.
Amazing.
Well, Will...
Yes.
How have you been? We have not seen you nearly enough this semester.
It's weird actually. I have a job, so that has, prevented me from doing some things, I suppose. But the semester's been pretty easy overall.
That's good.
But now since it's almost graduation time, I'm writing a lot of papers and studying, so could be better.
Well, yes. Yep.
But how about you guys? Almost done as well.
Yeah, pretty much same old. It's been a decently rough semester, but the end is in sight, and then the real world starts, which is kind of terrifying in its own right.
There's no break. It's like, the stress starts up again immediately after graduation.
Yep.
So,
I have a little break. I'm going to concerts 4 weekends in a row.
There you go.
There you go.
So, that's a good break.
Yeah. Have you had much time to play games this semester?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of games. I can't remember the last time I was even on the show. But
we did the top whatever list, but I don't remember when that was. It was probably sometime in January or February, though. So,
So
it's been a while.
Let's see. Where do we even begin? I played Ratchet and Clank. I beat it.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So you hadn't played the old Ratchet and Clank?
No, that was the first one.
Okay.
It was free, and I was like, I'll give it a shot.
Why
I don't
not?
know if I'll like it, but I actually really enjoyed it. I ended up liking it a lot.
It's a really well polished game.
It was a lot of fun to play.
That was my first Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, so...
Get that Insomniac hype, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Spider-Man.
After playing it, I could definitely see how Insomniac fits the bill for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I definitely got the feeling when I played Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
That almost just seemed like the test version of Spider-Man, because you're like jumping through the city and doing all like these crazy flips.
You get Spider-Man? He looks good.
I got the plat for Horizon.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I think those were really the only two like big games that I played, and I've been playing Hellblade right now. So almost done with that. Almost have the plat for that.
How do you like Horizon altogether? I don't think you had finished it last time I told you.
Yeah, no. It was. I mean, I was there mostly for the gameplay, and that never changed. Like it only got better, really.
The robots just got bigger and bigger and crazier and crazier.
And there's, I mean, like with open world games like that, I feel like it can be. You can reach a point where you're just not having fun anymore doing the same things, but that never really happened for Horizon. Even with the platinum, like I've spent a ton of time in that game, and I never got bored or frustrated with the collectibles or anything. So I was always building towards something. I guess it was good.
That was good. I'm definitely like running into a little bit of repetitiveness in the DLC. I don't know if you played it yet.
No, I haven't.
But overall, I mean, I think the DLC is really good. It's just some of the side quests in there, I'm like, It definitely kind of seemed like it was padded a little bit, but overall, I think it's still worth it. It was like $15, I think, but it was worth it.
I definitely wouldn't want to play it immediately after finishing, because I just like having that break. Being like, all right, I'm done. I got the platinum.
Well, that's what I've been playing the DLC now, and I finished the game back in like a year ago.
Yeah.
Now, so that was pretty good. Like,
for sure.
I was actually wanting more Horizon. But what about Hellblade? I know you were like, I had talked before about Hellblade, and like, it's definitely, I love Hellblade and I love all the things it's doing, but it's definitely kind of tedious, and some of the game design is not the best, and that's why it's weird. This sounds harsher than I mean for it to be, but I think I've said it multiple times that Hellblade, I believe, is a little bit overrated, just because I do feel like the game design lacks in something. I think you kind of experienced some of that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's the beginning part was weird for me, because you start out, you have to beat Cert and like Valrath or something. You know what I'm talking about? The
like
two mini bosses.
Valraven or
Yeah,
whatever.
Valraven,
Yeah.
And I thought it took like a really long time, especially the Valraven person. I felt like that part of the game just was really bloated. But now after doing that, going through the gate, and so I'm like, I haven't reached Hela quite yet, but I'm almost finished with the game, and I feel like it's been going a lot faster.
Yeah.
So, and I think the pacing has gotten a lot better. Now it's more like puzzles and stuff, which I've enjoyed more than the boss fights and the fighting.
The combat is one of the things that brings the game down, just because like it's one of those, and especially you will see it towards the end of the game. It definitely, instead of the combat like becoming more difficult in an interesting way, it's just they send
more enemies,
50 people at you instead of 20, and by the end of it, my thumb was like aching. I'm like, God, just let me get through this.
It's annoying. So the combat could not be in the game, and I'd be totally fine. Yeah, like it's all the auditory stuff that I find interesting in the narrative.
Which is are you playing it with over-ear headphones?
I am, for
That's
sure.
the way to go.
I mean, is there any other way to play it?
No, that's the way to play that game.
The girl I'm dating came over, and I showed her this game just specifically to get her thoughts on it. I thought it was really interesting.
Hellblade is definitely one of those games to people who don't play games, to show them just to like they see a cool experience. I mean, my sister and brother-in-law do play games, but not that often. And I showed them that. I said, like, put these headphones on and just listen to the voice and everything. And it's, like, really, really cool to show people.
Yeah, absolutely. And, in terms of the fighting, I just set the difficulty on easy. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like
that probably would. That's probably not really a bad way to go for this game when it comes to, especially towards the end. I was like, God.
Yeah. You haven't played it?
I have it, just haven't gotten around to playing it.
Yeah, I wanted to finish it before God of War because it's like Norse, and I did not want to be playing both of those games at the same time.
Yeah, just too much.
Almost there.
Too much Norse gods. Yeah, but I'm glad someone else has played it at least.
I mean, it's certainly good and worth the experience, but maybe not as many accolades as it has.
Yeah, I think it's because it's just doing something different. Like I'll be very excited to see Hellblade's Ninja Theory's next game if they go more in this like experimental route, because I think they probably learned a lot with Hellblade.
Yeah, I mean stylistically it's awesome. Yeah, it's just
And I don't have the exact numbers, but by the sounds of it, Hellblade did better for them than DMC and Heavenly Sword.
Yeah.
Despite, those having giant publishers.
And now it just came out on Xbox, so it's hopefully another sales bump. I haven't really seen if they've
Which is just so weird. Exclusive. Nah. Didn't they say it was exclusive at one point?
I don't think they necessarily said the word exclusive. It was just the thing. It was just coming out on PlayStation 4, so everyone said like, "Hey, nice exclusive to PS4." But I don't know if they ever said it's exclusive necessarily.
And I feel like that's been happening a lot recently, where there's a game it's like almost a full year, a calendar year. It's on PlayStation and then it goes to everything else. I feel like that's happened quite a few times.
Yeah.
Even
though the Woods go to Xbox, I know with the Switch. I know that was. I think that was PS4.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I only know.
I know that happened with What Remains of Edith Finch, which won BAFTA Game of the Year.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's crazy. I love that game, but that's kind of crazy. That's kind of wild.
Hellblade won like 7 awards at BAFTA,
which I think we said around like Game Awards time. Like Hellblade is like that Oscar stealing movie. It's one of those that like it might not be your favorite thing, but it's gonna win all the Oscars because it's doing all these things.
I think Night in the Woods won Best Story, and that made me happy.
It's crazy that What Remains of Edith Finch didn't win Best Story.
It's
Game of the Year.
Yeah, I think that's the only award it won.
Okay, so that almost seems like if we're gonna give it Game of the Year, just
one of those things. Yeah,
that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Well, anything else? Or is
I think that was about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And Jeff has been playing Rick and Morty VR apparently, but
virtual reality,
of course.
But we'll save that until
I'm done.
Until you can come in. Completely.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Just one question: how does it compare in levels of absurdity to Accounting Plus?
I'm early on, so it hasn't gotten to crazy absurd yet, but it's very cool. Like I would say, so far, at least right now, we're in the garage, Rick's garage. So it's cool going around there and seeing all the things and just looking around. A bunch of science mumbo jumbo going on.
Are there lots of Easter eggs and nods to the...
How mad are you that they haven't renewed the series yet?
Pretty mad.
I saw that.
Pretty
That's
mad.
crazy to me. How would the hell?
Adult Swim is weird.
I mean,
their shows, no matter how popular
Isn't
they
it
are.
like one of their biggest shows, if not the biggest show right now?
I mean, yes, but again, they're weird with it.
So they not even really been working on it that much, or is
No,
it just
because
not
they
there?
haven't got the go ahead,
Yeah.
so they technically can't.
So they,
Stupid. That's so stupid.
yeah.
I don't understand. Anyway, y'all ready to get into the news?
News.
News jingle, Josh.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. Dari, I got a question while I read this. I just realized just so people know, you'll figure out later, for the game this time, we kind of just threw it together.
Jeff, the game master.
I just
coming
found a way
in
to make it
clutch.
better. Darby, do you have note cards?
I do.
Oh.
I do indeed.
Can you get about 20 of them and a pen/pencil for you and Will?
I can.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you.
how exciting.
And then I'll start reading this.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
This first story comes from Jason Schreier for Kotaku. We got quite a few stories from him this time.
I mean, so it's a normal.
Yeah.
week, you know.
I feel like we got more this time to go. A recent online rumor got people buzzing about a possible 2018 release of PlayStation 5.
Incorrect.
I mean, yeah. But that's probably not going to happen. In fact, from what we've heard, the next PlayStation is a ways away. It may not arrive until 2020. Over the past month, I've, meaning Jason, spoken to dozens of game developers across a variety of disciplines and studios about the next generation of consoles. Of those, 2 people said they were directly familiar with plans for Sony's new console. Those 2 people both told me that the next PlayStation is unlikely to release in 2019, let alone 2018. Although they were careful to be clear that these plans are always shifting. Quote, on a multi-year project, a lot can happen that shifts schedule both forward and backward, one person said. At some point, Sony's probably looked at every possible date. It's all about what they think is the sweet spot in terms of hardware, end quote. A surprise move by Microsoft or another competitor, for example, could trigger a change in plans. Most of the developers I spoke to via phone and email and text said they had not heard anything about plans for a new PlayStation. Even employees at Sony's first-party studio said they have not yet been briefed on the existence of a PlayStation 5. People across all of the disciplines, meaning design, art, engineering, etc., at major studios working on games scheduled for 2019 and beyond have told me that if there's information about the PS5 of their companies, they haven't heard about it. And those people said they haven't heard about new Xbox either. In summary, there is information about the PlayStation 5 floating around at both first and third-party companies, but it's far more limited than it would be the console's release was imminent. So, I know this is all obvious, but people have actually been crazy enough to say, it could release this year.
Yeah, like this fall.
Yeah, like, no. We would have heard about it.
And also, yeah, we would have heard about it, and just like with how well the PS4 is still selling, it just seems like that would be stupid.
No, like Sony has no reason to do this.
No, and from a consumer perspective, I hope we have another 3 years until the next.
Yeah, people are like they want the next hardware, and they're like, why?
I'm not really keen on spending another $500 anytime soon. When I feel like we're still getting some of the best things I've ever seen in my life coming on the PS4.
Graphics are still improving, and the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X just came out.
Yeah.
And those cost the same, if not more, than the regular consoles did.
Yeah.
Yeah, this news made me quite happy, actually.
Yeah.
No,
All
me
right,
too.
good.
Me too. I'm like, push it back as far as we can, just because I don't have the money to spend on that, and I'm still not convinced that I'm still not fully convinced we're gonna have another like solid console generation. I'm still not convinced that it's we're not just gonna have these gradual upgrades like we have with the X and the Pro.
The thing about that is, I get what you're saying, but from a marketing standpoint, it sounds like saying this is the PS5 instead of like a thing will sell more, even if it is kind of like the PS4 Pro.
Right.
Type upgrade. Just putting that new name on there will sell.
Yeah, it will. It will. But I doubt we'll be gearing towards this until the PS4 stops making so much money for them.
This 2020 date, like Jason said, is the earliest I suspect.
Yeah, that sounds
unless Microsoft is like, well, the way this generation is going, they could release in 2019, and that might make Sony push it up. Yeah. Because they're already losing the power ways because of the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Like, in a weird way, like Xbox might be in the driver's seat as far as when the next generation starts, because they're the ones that have nothing to lose, whereas Sony does.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna be saying this probably about at least one of the other Jason articles. There's a lot more, of course, in this article where Jason goes over like how this stuff normally goes. changing from generation. It's an interesting read.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's just crazy because 2018 would just be 5 years after launch for those consoles.
Which I know, people have said before, like, that 5 years historically would be about normal. Like, the PS3 and Xbox 360, a big reason why that took longer was because of the recession.
Right.
But that being said, I think we're in a different era now.
I agree too, yeah.
We're in an era now where there's 70, 80 million PlayStation 4s out there, and
well, and also, have you listened to the Easy Allies podcast this week?
yes.
This is just bear with me. You know, they were talking about Spyro and the history of Spyro when they were getting games every single year, a Spyro game. That kind of stuff was more common back then, so that makes sense. I feel like that makes more sense for why the generations were shorter. Now, studios may get one, if they're lucky, 2 games in a generation.
Because games just take so much more.
So it makes
effort to make.
Makes less sense to have consoles come out
That's
as
true.
quick as they used to, in my opinion.
Yeah. And also, it's not like Sony has put out the PlayStation and nothing else. Like, we've had VR, and we've had, just in the grand scheme of everything with Vita, with all these other things, Xboxes, and it has their hands in a million different pies. It's different. Yeah. And people's money is being thrown in a million different things now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we still have a lot. Like, every single year, PS4 games look better. Like, Horizon looked better than Uncharted. God of War probably looks better than Horizon. We're constantly still, innovating on this hardware. I think, from a consumer standpoint, I am not looking forward to the PS5 anytime right now.
I agree.
For the record, Uncharted looks better than Horizon. Just throwing that out there.
I maybe in general, maybe it's just Horizon is more impressive because it's an open world that looks that good. I don't know. I would have to go look at them side by side. But
I have heard very good things about God of War's visuals, though. So
yes.
That's exciting.
But we don't have pros, so we won't get the full
That's
effect.
true.
yeah, it's true. By the way, hopefully by next podcast, we'll have some God of War impressions, because you better believe I'm getting that on Friday. Yeah. And I'm going to try to play it as much as I can. We'll see if school lets me. But
yeah, I got a presentation PowerPoint thing that's due next Sunday, so we'll see if I'm even here.
You're graduating.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Who cares? You don't have to... Whatever. You don't have to try anymore.
I won't do
Please
that.
get degrees.
Luckily, after that's turned in next Sunday, I'll have plenty of time to play, even at school.
Nice. Good.
Okay, guys ready to move on?
Yes.
This all comes from Jason Schreier from Kotaku, but I'm going to preference this. This is about, a couple sentences from this thing. This whole thing's about Mafia 3 and how that whole development went and how things went afterwards, which is a very good read.
I haven't gotten to it yet, but I really want to.
It is a very good read, but it's hard to talk about that, especially that long thing. But there was some interesting news that came out of it that he threw in there, and Jason probably knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll just read the little excerpt.
Okay.
This past year, a turbulent time for the studio, Hangar 13, the Mafia 3 people, as it floundered while trying to figure out what its next game would be. Many of the people who helped make Mafia 3 are now gone, including the game's art director, technical art director, senior producers, design director, many design leads, and a number of other key staff. Some left voluntarily, others were let go or asked to move, some went to other game companies, others moved to the top secret studio next door to work on an unannounced new Bioshock game.
Boom. To just drop that bomb in the middle of this other story.
I knew.
Absolutely, 100%.
I kind of feel bad, guy, because he wrote this whole giant thing about Mafia and just kind of...
But everyone.
That's what everyone's using.
Bioshock, but of course they are.
Again, people go read that article.
Yeah, I definitely plan to. I'm very interested in that. But this is not surprising, really. But I guess it kind of is. But I assume that there was no way 2K was going to leave the Bioshock name alone, just with how big it was. Obviously, Ken Levine leaving and Ken Levine kind of being the quintessential video game auteur, where it's this is his vision and no one else's, only his. So I doubt Ken Levine would be very happy about there being a new Bioshock game. But from a player standpoint, I'm very interested. I'm very, very interested to see what this is going to be. Because, what makes a Bioshock game at this point in 2018? Yeah. It's because, even Infinite and the original one are so different from each other. Mm-hmm. It's is a Bioshock game just a game in a very, a very like idealized setting or something with some weird like overarching government thing and a cool story. It's just it's weird. It's kind of like Far Cry. What makes a Far Cry game when they're set in different places and all this? It's gonna be cool to see what exactly comes of this. When do you expect to see?
The thing is, like, we know they're working on this, but we don't know when they started. I've heard people talk about this, and some people instantly think, oh, they started working this right after Infinite, or shortly after. Like, not necessarily. Well, Infinite came out in 2013. So, who knows when this even started, or, like, how it's progressed. Yeah. So, it could be at E3. It could be 2 years from now.
Yeah. I've heard some, like, little things that this game is not that far along, that they're mostly like in the early stages of like figuring out what they're doing. So I expect to see like our first look at it in 2019 and then maybe the game in early 2020 or something like that.
But I can believe that.
PS5 launch title.
Could be.
Well, this is a third party. Odds are it'll be whenever the next consoles come out, be cross-gen.
True.
Yeah, probably.
Like it's a possibility.
I guess I learned before this podcast that you have never played Bioshock, so which is
it's on the trilogy was on sale last week. It must have been some sort of glitch because it was on sale for like $12, and I had a 20% coupon, so I was gonna get it for like $9.50. And then when I went back to my cart to check out, like a few hours later, they had taken it off. And I looked at the Reddit page, PS4 deals, and everyone was talking about it. They're like, what? They took it off. But it's on sale again for $20, so I'm probably going to get it.
You would like them. You would definitely.
I played
$20 for all three of those games.
I will say the original Bioshock, mechanics-wise, does not hold up, no matter what people say. Some people claim that it still, like, plays well today. I don't think it does. It's aged. Like, mechanically, the original Bioshock has aged a lot. Because it came out in 2007?
Yeah.
I think 2006, 7 sounds right.
7. I think, I don't know, it's weird because I've played like an hour of Bioshock and a little more than an hour of Infinite. And both of them were like, it's fine. But I know, like, they're supposed to get a lot better, but...
Yeah, they're kind of like, they're very... they're very narrative heavy, and they're kind of both I mean more so the original Bioshock than Infinite, but they're both kind of slow burns when it comes to the story. It's almost like watching some like art film that like slowly unravels, like so I would give them a shot because you might like them, but
I think I will. They're pretty creepy too though.
Well, especially the original Bioshock game is basically a horror game.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a horror
game. I just randomly remember I never played the second DLC for Infinite.
I
think I have it.
I didn't. So you played Barrel C1, like the first episode. I only played the first one too. We need to do that. I have both of them. It's just I have to bring out my PS3, which is just collecting dust.
I assume that connected. The first one.
So. Yeah. It was like set in Rapture, and it's like it all goes. But apparently, the first one, episode 1 of it is basically just like a tiny setup. Episode 2 is supposed to be where the meat is, and that's I didn't play it. In the second one, you do.
Yeah,
interesting.
Good game, very good game,
very good game.
You might hear me talk.
Top 10.
You might hear me talk about it.
All right.
Okay, so next story. This comes from Alex Gilidov from IGN. Let's see. Yeah, I figured out how to read this. Okay, let's go for it. Lawbreakers developer Boss Key Productions' new project is a free-to-play battle royale shooter called Radical Heights. As detailed on the game's official website, Radical Heights will be available on Steam Early Access tomorrow, April 10th, so obviously it's out. Radical Heights mixes the battle royale formula with a colorful 80s aesthetic and a live game show element that takes place in the year 2023. In the far, far future.
So far.
Yep. Players will battle using a variety of vehicles and weapons, including confetti bombs, inflatable decoys, and BMX bikes. You can keep the cash you earn during matches, regardless if you win or lose, and then use those earnings on customization, new weapons, and more. A $15 Founders Pack will also be available for purchase, and it comes with a variety of exclusive items, including over 20 pieces of character cosmetics inspired by 80s action movies, and a permanent 10% in-game cash boost on all cash and prizes. That's what originally came with. There's an update. Since the time this article is published, the 10% cash boost has been removed. Because people were concerned with pay-to-win concerned with pay-to-win stuff, whatever. The full version of Radical Heights is set to release sometime 2019, and this is something posted from Bosky. Only in Radical Heights does in-game cash you find carry over into future matches, says a statement. Play matches, collect cash, kill contestants, interact with game show elements, and more to buy cosmetics from your personal prize room, or put some of that sweet cash in your bank to help buy a weapon next match quicker than your opponent. The choice is yours.
Yeah, so like I threw it in there, that last one at the end there, because I feel like they've been putting this as like a feature in the game that you can get weapons to, like, so your next round you can like go to the ATM and pull out money to get weapons and everything. I think this is a giant red flag for me in a game like this, because I feel like what kind of draws me into the Fortnite and PUBG model is that you land on the island and everyone is in an even playing field. You have to find your supplies, but everyone pretty much has an even chance. It's your skill from there. When you add in, if this guy has been playing nonstop for 5 weeks because he has no job, and he just plays this game all the time, he's going to be able to just pull out these amazing guns and kill me.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, I feel like, and especially when there's so many other battle royales I can play, I'm not going to want to play one like that.
Yeah. I can see it, but it's an early access, so that's something they can easily remove if it becomes a problem.
Okay.
Luckily, they have that. And also, something that I wanted to discuss, because you mentioned the whole people have other battle royale games to play. The case of this week, that wasn't really the case.
Yeah.
Because it's changed now, but for most of this week, from what I've seen, Fortnite was down. Completely for a couple days, based on what I saw.
It's like very serendipitous timing for Radical Heights.
Yeah, I was just saying, very good timing on their part, and from what I've seen.
So, it's collusion.
Hack 'em.
The Russians.
But from what it seems like, and this is just internet stuff, saying a lot of people when Fortnite went down, they didn't go to PUBG, they went to Radical Heights.
There were some top streamers that went over to it.
Because this is free.
Oh, okay.
You still got to pay for PUBG.
Yeah.
So if you're just trying to do something while Fortnite's down, why not try the?
I think this is kind of a glimpse into the future of that kind of thing. There's going to be a lot of these that are coming up like that, and potentially. And it's funny that Fortnite just goes down for a little bit, and then this number shot up. This was the top streaming game on Steam, on Twitch. This just shows that Battle Royale is not a fad that's going away anytime soon. No.
Something happens to Fortnite, something will rise up to replace it.
Though also, it was a little funny to me that Lawbreakers was basically just Overwatch. Cliff Blazinski was just making an Overwatch clone, and it failed. And then they very immediately, the very next game they do is a Battle Royale game. It's very much like Fortnite and PUBG. It's just kind of...
Just see what sticks.
It just seems like they're slightly late to everything they're doing.
I mean, you can argue that they might be a little early. Obviously, it's PUBG and Fortnite, but they're not that many high ones. We're going to start seeing a lot more.
Right. I think they got it here at a good time. Apparently, this game is also very rough right now. It's very, very, very early access to the point where there's some rooms that are don't even have textures on them. Basically,
it's very early. I mean, it's early access.
But even though the game is that early on, I think it probably was smart to get it out now, because you need to get if you want to compete in this Battle Royale world, you need to get your name into people's minds.
I mean, if you're going to do early access anyway, why not?
Yeah.
Can wait for that Red Dead Redemption 2 Battle Royale.
I just had a good bet maybe we can do for E3, just a general bet.
I'll play it.
For E3. How many Battle Royale games will be announced, / how many emotes will be announced? We should do that, just as a bet we all do.
That would be good.
Every open world game is going to have Battle Royale. Every multiplayer game.
It's required.
Yeah.
Do it. But I mean, I'd run around with you as a cowboy,
exactly.
Fighting off people, and they're God,
man,
you do have the best last name. I know I've already said it before, but
it works well.
Yeah, you should just move out west and become a cowboy. It'd be fun.
I'm allergic to horses.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
What a life problem.
There is a God and he is cruel.
Why? Knack, why?
All right, Jeff, let's move on.
Okay, just give me 1 second. This comes from... Got the
this
name
comes
down.
from IGN.com.
Yeah.
You must sing the news, though.
Yep. Shenmue and Shenmue 2 are coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC in 2018. Sega announced last night.
Bet.
While specific graphical enhancements weren't detailed, the publisher says the upcoming re-releases will be the definitive version of each game. These new versions will include fully scalable screen resolution, PC graphic options, and updated UI. Players will also have the choice between modern and classic controls, as well as original Japanese or English voiceovers. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version will be available both digitally and at retail, while the PC version will be released via Steam. Pre-orders for all versions will go live soon. Also, according to Game Informer, the price for Shenmue 1 and 2 is $29.99 US.
Good price point. Do you believe them?
What?
That it's coming out this year.
I don't see why not. I mean, it's a collection of old games.
Wait, so this is not...
This is not 3.
Okay. All right,
No.
Mind.
This was 3. This would be like at the top of the thing.
Okay, never mind then. Carry on.
Yeah.
I wonder how much actually better they're gonna look though.
The trailers looked. I haven't played the original, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard.
Those are old
I
games.
haven't saw the official HD thing,
Yeah.
and obviously these aren't remakes.
Yeah.
But
Just a fresh.
well, I saw the trailers. I've seen Shenmue for a while, but I gotta think. I mean, obviously, it looks dated now, but like, man, that must have been mind blowing in 1998.
Oh, absolutely. Just to be able, like, I can walk all over the city. I can go, like...
Look how real these
I
people
know.
look.
It's like these buildings everywhere. The people are walking and talking and stuff. It's like real life. Yeah, I mean, Shenmue's one of those things I don't think that we're ever going to be able to get because just it was a place and time.
Yeah.
It was just, for its time, it was incredible, but we're way too young and dumb. We're not going to be able to get it.
But Michael Huber from Easy Allies, oh boy, he was freaking out.
I'm sure he'll be excited.
No, he was.
Yeah.
He's very excited about this.
Well, I am happy for him and for everyone
For
else who
the
does care.
people over 40 that still play games, I'm happy for them.
Yeah, but I mean, this is good. It gives people a chance to replay it on current stuff, and hey, if people want to give it a try, they can. And the price point's good.
Yeah.
So
True. So that's the collection. It's not $30 each.
I mean,
it's a collection, and as far as I know, they don't have them separate.
Okay.
it's good if for anything for like video game preservation. Like Shenmue was a very important game for its time, so it's cool that you'll have the option to play that.
And this might be indicate these going well. I guess I don't know.
How this sells, you mean? Like, yeah.
Or like how it's going as far as being made. Yeah, well, yeah, it might give us the idea of how well Shenmue 3 might actually do.
Yeah, which I'm not expecting to do great, but
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to either. So
Shenmue 3 was on Kickstarter at first or
Yep.
something?
Yes, it's part of the Big 3 from the Sony Conference 2015.
Yeah, I remember.
With Last Guardian and Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
all the things that are like never coming out.
Well, Last Guardian finally came out.
Yeah, except for Last Guardian.
I mean, but that was a meme for 10 years. So
Yes.
it was enough time.
it did the time.
So we just got 6 more years at least for Shenmue and Final Fantasy VII Remake. So they come out.
Maybe a topic for another time, but I saw an interesting thread on Reset Era saying like what games are still in the like mythological zone. Like that would go crazy if they were announced. They said basically just Half-Life 3 and like Agent.
Yeah, I feel like the list is shrinking a lot. We're starting to get like all of these. I mean, with the what's the Beyond Good and Evil announcement?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that like we've gotten so many. Like you said, Half-Life. That's one of the only ones. Like there's like smaller ones. Like I'm sure people would be excited about like Onimusha coming back.
Yeah, that was one of them
and
too.
stuff.
Actually.
Yeah.
Speaking of Beyond Good and Evil, I want to try to play it on the Xbox One.
Can
I try that? It's
It's
backwards
backwards
compatible. It's one of those
compatible,
games. I feel like I might try it out.
Yeah,
Might as
I'm
well.
sure it's not that. I'm sure it wouldn't
no,
be
no.
that much to pick it up in the store.
No. It's like I can see this potentially holding up decently well and give me an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe if I like the second one or not. I like the trailer.
I mean, you'll be able to play the second one in like 7 years, so
Exactly.
you have time to get to it. Yeah, I don't know. That would be a good conversation, though. I'd like to think if there are any other like mind-blowing announcements. I'm sure there are, but
Yeah.
just
It's like mostly Valve. Just
Yeah.
everything they've ever published. Left 4 Dead 3,
yeah.
Portal 3.
I mean, I'm sure people would freak out about like classics like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 6,
Mother 3.
getting like the Final Fantasy 7 treatment, or Mother 3 or stuff
coming
like
over
that.
here, yeah.
Would be.
I feel like Nintendo's been hinting at that forever. I feel like if they ever do a virtual console thing, that should be the game they headline with.
Yeah, it should.
yeah.
That'd be a mega
F-Zero. Like, I don't know if that would be a lose your mind announcement.
No,
But there would be people that would care.
It would be for it wouldn't be like the whole internet type thing, but for the fans, yeah. Okay, moving on. This comes from Tar Marks from IGN. Today, or sometime this week, Bungie announced Destiny 2's expansion will be called Warmind and will arrive on May 8th with the start of Season 3. Bungie made the reveal in an official developer roadmap post and said the expansion will send you to new places to meet new heroes and battle new enemies. New. You'll earn new loot and master new activities. Warmind will be developed by Bungie in tandem with a new Destiny development partner, Vicarious Visions, an Activision-owned studio with most recently developed the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. The post didn't offer any further details about Warmind, but said a reveal stream on April 24th would tell us more.
Okay.
This excites you at all, Will?
I haven't played Destiny in months.
Would this make you come back in any way?
Only if my friends came back. That's the only reason I play Destiny. So
I feel like the common thing I've seen when people talk about this is like, as far as the whole going back thing, is like, it seems like people have lost like all interest.
It definitely seems different from the Destiny 1 when it came around. After obviously Taken King was like a lot, like improved a lot of things. I felt like every time there was a big event after that, people were like excited about it. Even the first few events in Destiny 2, people were excited about it. But yeah, now everyone just seems like, I've been out of it for so long, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Seems to be the general consensus.
Well, though I haven't read too much as far as the internet stuff, but admittedly, at least from people I heard, are the games media's people who have to play all these other games anyway.
Right. Yeah, true.
So
I'd be interested to see if there's still like a lot of people playing Destiny 2. Like, I'm sure there are, but I'd wonder like how it compares to like how many people were playing Destiny 1 at this point.
Every once in a while I'll watch like the fireside chat thing on IGN.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
And, like every time I've ever listened to them recently anyway, they're like, yeah, we're still playing, but not really liking it. Like, why? It's like I don't feel like anyone there enjoys the game anymore. So
it's so weird that people do that all the time with Destiny. It's like, I hate this game, but I can't stop playing it. It's like, yeah, it's funny. I just recently read the Destiny chapter in Blood and Sweat and Pixels, Jason Schreier's book, and it's kind of a miracle that game ever came out. It's crazy just how like they literally, it was like less than a year before the game, they completely changed everything.
That's
basically.
why the story makes no sense.
They had a whole story or whatever, and they just literally like scrapped all of it and put something else there.
Is that book great?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm so slowly getting through it because it's so hard to find.
He's writing another one apparently.
I'm in the Witcher chapter right now. It's the last chapter, and it's the chapter I've been wanting to get to the most as I'm reading this whole thing.
It's in my Amazon cart, so I'll read it at some point.
Super good. Super good.
Is there anything on?
Yes.
This comes from Michael McWhorter from Polygon. Nintendo Switch doesn't have a built-in achievement system like Xbox achievements or PlayStation trophies, but the Switch version of Minecraft was soon bring Microsoft brand of achievements to the platform.
Whoa.
A representative from Minecraft confirmed to Polygon that the game's Switch version will indeed track Xbox Live achievements later this year.
Okay.
So I feel like Microsoft and Nintendo have just been increasingly more buddy-buddy.
Yep.
At some point, it's just going to be like, Halo day and date with the Switch. Here we go.
I mean, that was an interesting thing. Like, I saw a screenshot of, like, the, I guess, Xbox account thing, achievement thing, and then it said on the game thing, like, on a Microsoft Xbox website, Minecraft for Nintendo Switch.
So crazy. Whereas like PlayStation won't even let the Xbox logo appear on their like browser, like you can just never even have anything related to Xbox.
Oh yeah, this article. Obviously, I just took like these two paragraphs and it was like they mentioned course. Of course, this is not the case for PlayStation. No.
But it's crazy. I could go get my Switch and get Xbox achievements on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. Like you said, how buddy they were. Banjo-Kazooie for Smash.
I mean, like it's increasingly like it seems a lot more like a possibility now than it ever would have before. So.
Microsoft buys Nintendo. E3 news.
I mean, that'd be the biggest news that I can remember for video games.
How would you feel, Jeff? How would you feel if Microsoft bought Nintendo? They're like, we're not going to change anything. Like they're all the people that are making the games are still going to be the people making the games. But now Xbox owns it, so now the Xbox stuff can go on and vice versa. How would you feel? What would your emotions be?
Like, okay, like if you said Microsoft doesn't change anything,
But
Nintendo's
they're
let
trying.
them-
They're like that's part of their branding. They're like, we know you're gonna be afraid, but we're gonna keep it the same. And they're two different brands, but they're gonna properties can be shared.
I'd probably feel weird about it first, but if it goes like you said, I'd probably not be okay with
What
it.
if it was like someone that isn't in the game right now, like Apple or Google or someone?
Then run. Like,
Yeah.
we were in the dark timeline at that
Yes.
point because Apple would screw it up. I'm sorry.
You know what a popular thing? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it is weird how like PlayStation is the parent company or has a parent company and Xbox has one as well, but Nintendo is independent.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what people have been.
Part of why they're able to spend a bunch of money playing with cardboard is because they're not beholden to anyone.
Yeah. Something I've seen people legitimately say is they want Disney to buy Nintendo. I'm like, why?
That's interesting.
I think at this point, people want Disney to buy everything.
Disney's way too freaking big.
I mean,
anyway.
because Disney will buy everything. At
Yeah,
some point.
but doesn't mean we have to want it.
The only solid positive of that is an entire wing of Disneyland being Nintendo. That is the only. That's
what Universal's for.
Yeah, I know. But
We're gonna get Pokemon World, by the way.
Let's not forget how insane it was when Disney bought Marvel in 2010.
anything is
That's
possible.
insane.
And
Anything
Star Wars.
is possible.
And Star Wars.
We thought that buying Pixar was big.
Yeah, seriously.
Now you forget that Pixar was ever just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Staying with Xbox. Xbox is, doing their direct thing, but not,
Yeah, I don't even know what it's called. I haven't
Yeah,
watched.
I can't
any of
remember.
them,
But they tons of different stuff in there. They announced some new backwards compatible Xbox, like original Xbox games and stuff. In 360.
OG.
Yeah. Okay, and here's some games arriving April 17th for backwards compatibility. Blinks the Time Sweeper, Breakdown, Conquer Live and Reloaded, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Hunter the Reckoning, Jade Empire, Panzer Dragoon, Orta, and SSX3. And
Some good games.
and then here's some coming April 26th. Destroy All Humans, Full Spectrum Warrior, Mercenaries Playground of Destruction, MX Unleashed, Panzer Elite Action, Fields of Glory, Europe only, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, Star Wars Jedi Starfire, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 The Sith Lords, and Star Wars Republic Commando.
Darby suggestions: play Morrowind, play Destroy All Humans, and play the Battlefronts. I also like the SXX games a lot. They're really dumb, but I like them. Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Hey, I'm okay with all these old games going to Xbox.
Yeah, it's
that
really
made me
cool.
more reason to actually play it.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's a cool thing that I wish was happening on PlayStation.
I wish they would put I'm sure there's someone put some of these on, good many of these on, for Game Pass.
Yeah.
Then that's just then I'm just buying kind of like a Netflix thing for
And
a bunch of old
it
games.
goes all the way back to OG Xbox. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure there's some on there, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Indeed. Let's see. And
We're on
here's,
to E3 talk, Jeff.
we got one more thing first. We threw in there.
So
Come
sorry.
on, Darby.
So sorry.
Fired.
Yeah. Just a quick thing. Banner Saga 3, which is coming out for PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Switch, is coming out July 24th. Yes. And Banner Saga 1 and 2 are coming for the Switch sometime before that. Yep. Just no date.
It's a good date. Good date for Banner Saga.
Yep. Because
can't think of too many other things around it. There's Octopath is at some point.
Octopath, Captain Toad.
Yeah. I think if it's gonna go up against games, I think those are the right ones to go up against.
July is a good time.
Good thing they didn't come out. Banner Saga 3 is coming out September 4th or something.
Then they just want to have an out.
No,
sorry. It was coming out then. Then they moved it far away.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Now, Dari, now we'll get to the E3 talk.
Okay.
Just a little quick thing. EA's 2018 E3 press conference will be on Saturday, June 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, setting it an hour earlier than last year's conference. The announcement said the EA Play's press conference will have big gameplay reveals, surprise announcements, and more. EA already confirmed its plan to show more on the next Battlefield, Anthem, and EA Sports games. So, not really surprised there, just kind of, give people an idea what the schedule's looking like.
Earlier is better for me.
Yeah.
On the East Coast.
East Coast.
Remember the Bethesda conference last year?
Oh, yeah, because we were doing stuff for that.
Like 11 p.m. or something like that.
I mean, the bright side of that for me and Darby was I had to get off work, so I was able to get there, watch the Microsoft conference. We were able to record that at least.
The bad part is that we left at 3 a.m. or something. That was the bad
And
part.
I think we both had to work the next day.
Yep.
Wow. Miserable.
E3 week, I was pretty dead.
Yeah.
And that was just like doing our little like podcast in my living room, and I was dead.
So yeah, okay, it's going to more E3 news. This comes from Alex Theodore from IGN. Darksiders Still and Biomutant publisher THQ Nordic is skipping E3 because employees have planned to watch the 2018 FIFA World Cup.
Fair enough. Fair
enough, sure.
The company announced via a recent blog post it won't attend E3 2018 because it doesn't want to miss one of the biggest sporting events, which kicks off in Russia on June 14th. E3 2018 takes place from June 12th to 14th in Los Angeles. THQ Nordic will instead show its upcoming game lineup, including Darksiders 3, Biomutant Wreckfest, and Fate the Silence, and other events later this year. This includes Gamescom, which takes place in Cologne, Germany. Is that how you pronounce that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. From August 21st, 25th, and at PAX West in Seattle, taking place from September 1st to 4th.
So there's absolutely no way that's true, right? The FIFA World Cup was the reason. There's no way that was the reason.
It's pretty weird.
They just decided to show their games at this thing because it'd be cheaper or for whatever reason, and then FIFA the World Cup was just a cute reason to put on there. That's my story.
I saw from people say it's Nordic, so they're like, soccer's a lot bigger of a deal.
I think it's just a cute marketing thing because we're talking about it. So there you go. It worked. I think that's all that is. Because if that was really, if it was like we should be showing our game at E3, but we wanted to go watch soccer, that would be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Good business.
I will say this. Well, I probably would have brought this up even if they said they were just not going to be there. Because like, it's just E3 news. At least as far as us talking about it.
I don't really feel like going to E3 this year, you know?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
Gotta wait longer to find out more about Biomutant and Darksiders 3. Now, it's time for sales talk. We got some interesting sales talk.
Sales time.
This comes from Jason Schreier for Kotaku. I think this is like the first time we've had him for news-related stuff. Or sales-related stuff. This morning, or, sometime this week, developer Hazelight Studios announced that it sold 1 million copies of A Way Out, which is a noteworthy number, not just because it's big, but because it's more than EA thought it would sell in a lifetime, according to the marketing document that leaked last year. You may recall this as the marketing plan that said the company would need to watch out for controversy surrounding A Way Out's director Joseph Fares.
For Oscars.
EA's forecast, at least when it made that plan, was that A Way Out would sell 203,000 copies in the 2018 fiscal year, which ended March 31st, 8 days after the game came out, and 894,000 copies total. In other words, A Way Out just sold more copies in 2 weeks than EA projected to sell in a lifetime. While it's possible that EA's projections changed between the time that this plan leaked and release, this is still fascinating and shows just how successful the game was. It's a promising sign for any game developer who's thinking about an ambitious narrative experiment like this one.
So happy because of that, because of how ambitious this was. I wanted this to succeed because I did not want the lesson to be taken from this that like, we have to like tailor our game to be like played by the widest audience because this is a 2-player game exclusively. You need to play it this way, and I like that they did that.
Plus, it's kind of like, at least from what I've seen, like Hellblade as far as the cheaper like quote unquote maybe like AAA, not exactly that experience, like AA experience.
Yeah, like a double A. Yeah.
So it's another success in that field.
Yes, and I think the more success we have in that, the more people will be like, hey, we can do this independent thing. Even though this is from EA, it's still one of like EA, for all their faults, has been having a lot of like, there's a big wing of EA that's very like, we'll give you money, you can do what you want, like the Unraveled type games. And then
this is from like pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
and they've pretty much Hazelight said straight up, EA had no like input as far as this game goes. They just let us do what we wanted.
Right.
Which is, cool. I want more games from them because the games we've gotten from that, A Way Out, Unraveled, and Faye, are good games.
Solid games, yeah. And I'm excited to play A Way Out with you, Jeffrey.
I have it in that bag over there.
Yes.
Whoa.
I want to play it.
Cool.
Yes.
I'm sure we could play it again with you at some point, but we'll know what we're doing. We'll know what happened, so I think that might kind of mess it up.
Well, it's a physical copy, so I'm about to say it's a physical copy, so you could borrow it if you want to after we're done.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It looks fun.
It does look fun. I agree.
It looks a lot of fun.
Heard some worrying things about storyline stuff, but we'll see.
I just heard the voice acting was not the best.
Or maybe that was it.
That's the most of what I've heard.
Okay. Then this last thing, last sales related things from Ethan Kotaku. I just got some bullet points, so I really don't think Shovel Knight has sold over 2 million copies. Of the 2 million sales to date, and this is why this is interesting, because Yacht Club Games went in as far as the data goes, and let's find it interesting.
Yeah.
The 2 million sales to date, the largest chunk, 24.4%, came on PC, followed by the 3DS at 23.9%. Surprisingly, though, the Switch led the Wii U version 17.6% to 14.3%, despite only coming out last year.
That's crazy.
The only other major source was PS4, accounting for 9.1% of the total sales. The game sold the fastest of the Switch, and 2017 was the studio's highest year yet in terms of revenue, despite selling more in 2015. Also, some other interesting thing,
That's so awesome.
The two expansions like Spectre Torment and stuff were not profitable for Yacht Club Games. They just pretty much made those because they promised it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and good for them for delivering.
I also feel like I'm just selling blood, sweat, and pixels at this point, but there was a lot of that in that book too, about how they kind of like dug themselves a hole with just all their like Kickstarter promises. So they're like, and they're
still working.
See what you did there, Darby.
Yep, totally meant to do that. But I admired them that even though they realized we kind of dug ourselves in a hole, we're kind of like screwed here. I feel like most Kickstarters would have just come up with some excuse and went on. They were like, no, we promised this, we're doing this.
And yeah, that kind of sucks in a way. I mean, again, yeah, good for them for keeping their promises, but that kind of sucks. That's keeping them from making whatever they want to next.
Yeah, but they are done now, right? When this last expansion, the last one they promised?
King of Cards or whatever the next one is, the one with King Knight, it hasn't come out yet. It's coming out like sometime. It's supposed to come out pretty soon. After that, I think they're done. Okay. Other than like some smaller things, but as far as like campaigns go, that's the last one.
But like just from a moral standpoint, like, no, we're gonna keep doing this. Also, Switch is just the home for indies, and I love it. Like the fact that it sold fastest on Switch of anything else.
True.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Indeed.
All right, Jeffrey, you got a game for me and Will?
I do have games.
I have index cards. I don't know what we're doing with these.
Okay, Derek, we're going back to an older game.
Whoa.
That you did by yourself. That didn't go as well as I expected, but I think it works better with Will here.
Okay.
How long is the game?
Oh,
and we're doing main plus extras this time.
So bad at this.
Man, I love this website.
How long to beat?
How long to beat.com.
That's why I'm going now. That's why I needed games.
Okay.
So this is good. Main plus extra.
Yes.
Main plus extra. Okay.
Yes, because I did just main last time, and that threw Dario out big time.
Yeah, I can see them.
Yeah, I was pretty bad at it.
Yeah, so
I'm just pretty bad at engaging this. So are we just going to be like we're both saying, and whichever is closer? Is that how we're doing?
that's why I want the no cards. So you can't do like you say something and then Will does like 1 second or hour or whatever lower or higher.
1 second.
Amazing.
How long the beat needs to go down to seconds?
49 hours. Oh man, that'd be good.
Yeah, so you can do like.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't even looking.
Will,
I didn't look.
William,
I didn't. Okay, yep.
So yeah, the way this is gonna work, it's going to let's see, make sure I got all the ones I want on here. Yes, sorry. Yeah, you can write down any time, hours, minutes, seconds you want. Just whoever's closest will get it.
I'm gonna put seconds on every single one of mine.
You can do that, Darby.
I'm gonna do it.
I
might even go to milliseconds. You don't know.
And yeah, since this is from.
But I don't feel good about this. I don't feel great.
Since this is just thrown together, I have to look it all up.
It's fine. Jeff literally, we were I had already hit record, or I was about to hit record, and then we figured out I was going to have a game, but I didn't have it. So Jeff is the game master. He's pulling this all together.
Okay, first game. And also, just so people know, they generally gave me series, so if you both didn't play the particular game from the series, I apologize. Fallout New Vegas.
Oh! Didn't play that
You didn't
one.
play New Vegas?
No.
The hell, man. Play New Vegas.
I mean, did you play 3? I could do that one.
Did
It's
you play
fine.
3?
Okay. I did play 3, but yeah.
We can do 3. We can go 3. I mean, I bet they're very similar as
Yeah,
far as the
I'd have
length,
to
but go 3.
Okay.
All right.
Fallout 3.
God, main plus extras.
Ooh, for the fun of it, write the name of the game on the top and we'll just go over the answers at the end.
We'll do what? Oh, okay.
And write your name on it as well, so make sure we know which ones.
Okay.
And while you're writing, I will try to bring up the rest of them.
This is hard.
Yeah, it's difficult. I'm just doing hours. I'm not gonna do minutes.
That's all I'm doing too.
Boom.
Yeah, just put them face
Crushed
down,
it.
and we'll go over it at the end.
At the end, we're not doing it as we go.
I feel that would be more fun. We just go through it.
Okay.
What's the next one?
Okay, next one. Halo 2.
Whoa. This is pretty old school.
I didn't put my name on that. It's too much to write. Okay. And I'm trying to write it weird and hide it from Will. Halo 2, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's hard. I don't know. I was a little kid,
was a
Jeff.
youngin'.
I was such a young lad.
I was a little boy.
I was such a little boy.
That's why it's good about this, though, just whoever's closest. Whoever guessed the best.
I just wonder how off we're all gonna be. We're both gonna be.
I'm gonna guess.
Don't say out loud what you're gonna guess.
I think it's.
Okay, gotta hurry up. We are doing a podcast, you know.
Our audio listeners are enthralled by this.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, should we be keeping them separate, or I guess
I don't care.
As long as they're stacked.
We have our names on them.
As long as they're stacked together, it's fine.
All right, what's next?
All right, Jeff.
Okay, next one is Call of Duty Black Ops.
1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, generally with these things, I'm just going to go with what I believe to be the most popular one.
Black Ops is pretty popular.
Oh. I might be really underestimating these first-person shooter ones.
I really don't even have a good concept of where I'm at. We'll just have to see. All right.
Okay,
Jeff.
next one is Far Cry 3.
Okay.
I assume that's one of the ones you played with. I know you played it.
Yeah.
That's the one everyone played, from what I know.
Because it's the best one. Maybe 5's the best one now. I don't know. I haven't played it yet.
I really want to.
I really want to.
I was so sickened of Far Cry.
I think we
4
all
last
three
summer,
want to. So if we play it, we should all play it at the same time so that we can, Or can you do 3-player co-op? Or I think it's only 2.
I think it's 2. Yeah.
I think it's only 2. Yeah. This is rough.
Crushed it.
There's something not too much math involved. Hopefully it's just an obvious thing.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Uncharted 2.
I actually
Also the best
looked
one.
up Uncharted a lot because I was playing through all of them at one time. So hopefully I have a good understanding of this.
I have not looked anytime soon. Now the extras is weird in my mind.
That's true.
It's weird no matter what. This is a hard question. Jeff, fill the air while I think.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry. I should have known better. Okay, so everyone, they're writing their answers for Uncharted 2. I guess recap of what games we've done so far. Fallout 3. Halo 2. Call of Duty Black Ops. There's a theme here. Far Cry 3. And Uncharted 2. All these Western games with revolve guns.
I love shooting things.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's the only thing you two have in common as far as your game taste, apparently.
All right, I'm going crazy with this one.
Okay, we got
Wow, you're gonna win, I think, because I'm pretty sure.
Well, we got 2 more.
I just put minutes.
Oh, we have 2 more. Okay.
I put minutes and
Quick one.
seconds on that one.
Okay, this one's gonna be a little different.
You've ruined my life.
Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the story mode.
Oh no!
I did play the story mode.
I mean,
hilariously.
yes, but
Exactly.
It's like everyone did. I just don't know why.
Hey, those cutscenes were hype, bro.
And it was like the easiest way to unlock characters.
Seeing Mario crash in on some spaceship and punch Link in the face. I don't know if that happened, but it did in my mind. I do feel like this thing's longer than I think.
Yeah, I probably.
This one I'm not doing main plus extras because I don't know what the extras include, but it makes it so much longer. So yeah, it's just a story mode.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna underestimate this, but
Okay, and just for Will, so you can get started. Last game, Red Dead Redemption. Another shooty game.
so this is just like start to the end of the story.
Yes.
And
Think, Will. How long?
see, it's weird because I 100%ed that game, so I'm trying to think what it would have been. If
I'm
I just
looking
did
at
some
it.
of them.
Yeah.
What are we on now? I'm sorry.
Red Dead Redemption. That's the last one.
It's been so long since I played it. And I played it over such a long amount of time because I spent most of my time just wandering around the wilderness.
Yeah, that's true. Man. Nope, I did Red Dead Redemption 2. Don't know how long that is.
I imagine pretty similar.
Yeah, probably.
Never know.
Unless they go all in for the online, so like, we'll just have a short story mode.
It's like a 30-minute intro, and then okay, just go play online.
It's everything that's been in the trailers, and then suddenly you got to play the 30-minute story mode to unlock online.
The trailer were literally just like set pieces of horses.
I just dropped the pencil. Did you see
I
that?
did see that. That was nice. All right, hold on.
I'm interested in seeing what the platinum or whatever is for that because I did indeed do that.
Darby's writing down his final thing.
I might have overestimated on that.
We'll see. Okay.
I don't feel good about
Hopefully
any
these are
of
in order.
They should be, unless the way you're picking them up makes me worry that they're not.
You got to tell the audience what they are.
Okay, yeah. Fallout 3, first one. We have on Will's thing, hey Jeff Hart, I appreciate that. Did you fart, kid? 33 hours for the main plus extra.
I feel like he's cheating, trying to get in on.
For Darby, 87 hours.
For main plus extra?
Yeah, that's what you put.
These games are freaking big.
No. I'm just saying how different they are.
Yeah.
The actual one, 58 hours.
Wait, is that... No, dang it.
This is like
That is
25
more than I
off.
thought.
You're like 30 exactly off.
Ah.
So it's kind of close. So
That is definitely more than I thought. What is the main for that?
the main,
Yeah.
23 hours.
I just realized The Witcher wasn't on it. Witcher 3 wasn't on it. It wasn't any of these.
I did not do that because we did that last time.
Okay.
I tried to, at least make it different.
Dang.
All right, what's the
I
next
figured you wouldn't remember. Halo 2.
one? Halo 2.
They're
Let's
both
see.
so off in Fallout. Just
Yeah, Halo 2. Will got 11 hours. Dari put 15 hours. The actual main plus extra is 10 and a half.
Boom!
Will got it.
I think I'm just bad at this. I think I'm just bad at any length.
You don't know time very
Yeah,
well.
I'm not. I do not know time
You
very
just
well.
look at your watch and you're like, wow, 12 hours have passed.
Okay, main plus extras for Call of Duty Black Ops. Will put 12 hours. Dari put 24 hours.
Did I?
Yes, you did. The actual main plus extras is 12 and a half.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna get destroyed.
One more and Will's got it.
Because
Why did I
I
put-
spend too long on howlongtobeat.com trying to plan out my gaming life.
And Will is a trophy hunter.
true.
Goes after all those extras.
Okay, here we go.
And I think I'm just one of them dumb kids.
Just one of
Okay,
those.
so Far Cry 3. Will put 22 years.
Damn it, did I? Why?
I gotta go with the time you put.
Why? What happened?
I mean, that looks like years, right?
Yeah, that is correct. That is years.
Dari put 35 hours. The actual time is 25 and a half hours, so Darby gets it.
I hate you, Darby.
If I win off of this, I'll just give it to him. I mean, I think he should have this.
Listen, I started. That
I'll
game,
be the bigger man.
I started that game when I was born. Just finished it this year. It's
Then-
insane.
But honestly, yeah.
Okay, so we have for Uncharted 2.
I hope I didn't put years on the rest.
I should go back and look.
Years forever.
And it's going too long. I won't do that. Okay, for Will, 19 hours for Uncharted 2. Dari put 19 hours, 2 minutes, 1 second.
Oh!
So the actual time is 12 hours. So he gets it because you put that.
No, you fool.
Okay, so
That was the only one I did that with, I think.
okay,
That sucks. So I'm not going to win a single one.
okay. So here is for Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Will put 4 hours 30 minutes.
I did too.
Yep, Dari put 4.5 hours. So you both technically get that
Yeah,
point.
What was it?
10 and a half.
It's
Wow.
10?
Yes. Also, main plus extras is 54. I don't know what all includes in that.
What extras are you looking
You probably have to like go through with every character possible. Like, aren't there times where you could choose whatever character you want? I don't know, but
I think that might include like all the bonus stuff that's not.
okay.
listed.
So I half won one.
Okay, last one, Red Dead Redemption. Will put 18 hours. Dari put 50 hours. The main plus extras is 28 and a half hours. Will's got that one.
What is
You have, Dari, you had 47 as completionist, so you had that one.
I guess that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what extras.
It's actually a little less than
Like all like the main side quests. That's
Okay.
normally what it means.
Okay. I think literally all of those I was like envisioning doing like the
So
collectibles and
final score is. Let me get the. Blah, blah, blah.
I didn't actually fully win any of them.
No, you got one.
You got one.
Which one did I get?
22 years.
Far Cry. Because he put years.
Oh, but that okay.
So we have
I had
2 for
Bilbo.
Derby, 6 for Will. Yay. Will
Yay.
wins. The 50th game extravaganza.
Darby is one of them dumb kids.
Okay.
Oh crap. Okay, alright. Main topic.
Wow, we're actually not as far as I thought we'd be at this point.
Yeah, but this might take a while. Because
That's good.
our main topic for our episode 50 extravaganza, that's not that extravagant, but whatever, is we're going to talk about our top 10 games of all time, gentlemen.
Whoa.
And we are not cowards here, right? Are you a coward?
I'm not a freaking coward.
Jeff, are you a coward?
Sometimes.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, we like to at least put out the presence of not being cowards, so we are going to rank them. We are ranking our top 10 games
The significance.
of all time. And I'm pretty excited about it.
Yes.
You guys.
So my number one.
Yeah, so the way we decided at least to do this earlier is we got a bunch of honorable mentions, and to be honest, I made a top 20 because I had a lot of honorable mentions.
Because of course, Jeff.
Yeah. So we're going to go through the honorable mentions / stuff not in the top 10, like where he's going to take turns to go through all those.
And we're not. Yeah.
And then, we're going to go one by one. So after we get to the top 10, so 10, 10, 10.
To build
and then
up
9, yeah.
to those ones. So, Jeff, why don't you start us with your honorable
just
honorable
name them.
mentions.
So my 11 through 20.
Yep.
So I mean, like, Jeff. Actually, you're the least cowardly of us all because you ranked all 20. My honorable mentions are not ranked. So.
Yeah. So number 20, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Hell yes.
Number 19, Tearaway Unfolded.
Mm-hmm.
Number 18, Banjo-Kazooie. Number 17, Infamous 2.
Okay.
Number 16, Super Mario 64. 15, Tales of Xillia 2. Number 14, Pokemon Soul Silver. 13, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. 12, Super Mario Galaxy. And number 11, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn.
Oh, nice.
It's not bad.
All those make sense. Some of those are lower than I thought they'd be. But...
Yeah, you might. Yeah, wait till we get to my.
But I'm sure, like some of mine were also I couldn't believe.
No. Some of those thought they were going to be higher, and then I listed all of them out. I'm like,
There's some games I couldn't believe are not in my top 10, but
yeah.
So yeah,
these are
feel
very
like
personal rankings.
I saved my honorable mention almost for ones that, like, for games that I like are nostalgic or that I just played a ton of, but I wouldn't consider them like my favorite game. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, my honorable mentions.
Go ahead and do this.
So I have Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Most people would have Melee, but I have Brawl. Spider-Man 2, the movie, the game.
Did love that game.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Tony Hawk's Underground.
Heck yeah.
The Walking Dead Season 1. Mario Kart Double Dash,
Nice.
and Life is Strange.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad Life is Strange is that high in yours.
I love that game.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, my honorable mentions, I could go on for like 20 different games with them, but what I have is Final Fantasy 12,
Nice.
Super Mario Odyssey,
Nice.
Super Mario 64,
Nice.
Fallout 3,
Nice.
Fallout New Vegas,
Nice.
Uncharted 2,
Nice.
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
and Tales of Xillia 2.
Nice.
Those are my honorable
We-
mentions. I forgot.
Yeah,
to
we
put
see
the-
your play those?
Xillia 2
Nice.
on there. Yeah.
Two
I mean,
Fallouts there.
we are pretty similar in our thing.
You didn't want to give Fallout a bone? Put it in your top
Almost
10?
every single other time I've done my top 10s, both of the Fallouts have been in there, but it's
Really?
just, I guess I'm changing as a person. It's just...
I think my number one's
Aren't we all?
might be surprising. I might have to explain myself. We'll see.
All right, Jeff. Start
lead
us
it
out.
off.
Number
with
10.
Number 10.
My number 10. Tales of Vesperia.
Oh, okay. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yep. Okay. So the reason I put this as well, I guess my top 10, and I guess put it over Xillia is it's one of my favorite, obviously JRPGs of all time.
Yeah.
As far as JRPG goes, especially for Tales games goes, it has like one of the best cast of characters.
I agree.
Yep. And Mr. Troy Baker voicing the main character is always nice.
Classic.
Of course.
Yes.
And that was like before Troy Baker was the
Joker.
Troy Baker. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and just the battle system may not as a whole be my favorite in Tales games, but it is very solid.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing, I think the difficulty curves pretty well, especially for a Tales game, at least from what I remember playing. And just general mechanics and just in general for Tales is the most solid and some of the best. Again, like I said, best Tales game overall.
Yeah.
And what helps Tales games in general for me, part around Tales of Xillia 2 is in my, how 20 general, I'm sure it's the same for Darby, is the fact you can play those co-op or 2-player.
Which
and
that was
just
such
added
an
to it.
awesome experience,
Yeah.
like playing Xillia with you, and I'm sure you played that with your sister, with Vesperia.
And you even came in for a little bit of
Yeah,
it.
and like even just like popping in the middle of that game, I was already getting like wrapped up in the story. I feel like it's so easy to just fall into that. those characters.
for
are just really
Vesperia, me and my sister played the whole thing together, but Dari popped in the very middle of the game for like, I want to say like 10 hours.
a
5 to 10
good
hours.
chunk of it. Yeah, I mean these games are long. But
Yeah. It's so
That's
good.
fine.
And like, yeah, I literally popped in, didn't know what the hell was going on, but by the end of it, I actually cared about the characters. So I'm like, oh,
That's
that's
really
actually
This is
really
honestly
good.
one that I kind of kept on forgetting about that I suddenly remembered it like earlier, I think today. I was like, what am I doing? This is top 10.
I had that with a few of them too.
Yeah.
So. All right, Will.
My
You're
number 10?
10.
My number 10 is a little generic, but I played this game for so long, have so many memories with it. Call of
Memories.
Duty, Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, heck yeah. Yep.
Just I mean, it might not be the game that got me into like really playing a whole bunch of games, but it was one of the things that made gaming more of a social thing, I suppose, where I was just always playing with friends. So, really good memories with Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember just at school, you go to everyone was playing that
yeah.
game. There was not anyone that played games that wasn't playing.
Like party
Certainly.
chat every night with several people you didn't actually know in real life.
Yeah, and it's like easy to like kind of like make fun of Call of Duty now, just that it's a yearly thing that's just been kind of gone in ups and downs and everything. But back then, it really was something like special. Like it was like the perfected first-person shooter like that, and just playing like multiplayer like that. I don't think there had been a game before that had that much of a just community. Or just you do that.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what you do. Yeah,
those.
awesome.
I mean, the whole, at least Modern Warfare 2, and I guess Black Ops was right after that.
Yeah.
Those 3 games are really good.
Solid,
And,
very
like,
solid games. Yeah,
So,
I agree with that. Okay. Scrolling up. My number 10 is a game we've talked about earlier today, Bioshock Infinite.
nice.
I loved, and I know this would be a controversial pick for a lot of Bioshock things, especially since the original Bioshock was not.
Original Bioshock better be number 1, damn it.
What a bro. He's a Bioshock bro.
I know.
I only played Infinite.
Yeah, spoilers. This is the only Bioshock on my list. I just love the experience of Bioshock. Maybe it's because like I didn't play the original Bioshock until a little bit later, so that's probably definitely has something to do with it. But just Infinite, just especially that time when it came out, like right around The Last of Us and everything, and you just go in there. And I was already just loved the setting so much, but I didn't know much about the story going in. And you're immediately like Troy Baker. I think that might be my favorite character Troy has ever played, just because Booker is really kind of just not a good dude, but Troy just played it so well. And just the relationship between him and Elizabeth, and just everything, just Columbia as a world, and just slowly watching, like, figuring out, like, what the hell is going on with this story was so cool to me. And I feel like some people, like, the pacing was just amazing all the way through. I really like the more action-y combat versus the horror-ish combat, like horror-ish gameplay in the first one, which is crazy to most people. But overall, it's just, I don't know, that story just wraps you in. And the ending, I like literally, that was one of the games where like I finished it and I immediately went back and loaded the final mission again because I had to see it again. I was like, wait, what?
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I just had a thought, Darby. This is for Bioshock, not necessarily Infinite. Bioshock in VR. Imagine they did like original Bioshock in VR.
That'd be terrifying.
It'd be great.
It would be great.
I need to play Resident Evil 7 more than that.
Yes.
But yeah, I also remember thought of something when you mentioned Troy Baker, playing Knight as a nice guy. That seems to be a trend with Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick,
yeah.
A game I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Joel is not really a good dude.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, maybe subliminal, maybe Troy.
He's Joker.
Troy's a great dude. All right, Jeff. What's your number 9?
Number 9, Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
Ooh.
Now, I know what people are thinking.
That should be an honorable mention too. Again, it could go on for so long, but carry on.
Now, I know what people are thinking. You put Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time? Yes, I did.
What?
I know Ocarina of Time is the biggest, more inspirational, I guess, in the gaming world and everything, but especially when I originally played Majora's Mask as a kid, just using all the different masks and everything was so much fun. And even when I replayed Majora's Mask on the 3DS version a couple years ago when that came out, realized, part of me was wondering, okay, is this nostalgia or is it just this game? It's this game just because everyone knows or should know Majora's Mask thing. You had 3 days to stop the moon from falling, pretty much. And then once 3 days go, you rewind time and all that stuff or whatever, so you can do stuff. And figuring out the schedule and everything for all the people in town, and just a lot of fun, and using all the masks to figure out what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to unlock things and what's the best course to do.
Yeah.
And Majora's Mask has one of my favorite worlds in video games. Yeah. Just with the townspeople and everything, how you interact with them.
And just the tonal shift from Ocarina was just really cool. And just I feel like that game's so much of this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's
I kind of like how, and also in the 3DS version, they had a little thing to help you remember timeline stuff, what everyone does. Made that easier. Yeah. That helps.
Such a cool idea.
So good.
So good.
Majora's Mask 2, please.
Yes, I would.
Or something more heavily inspired by
people have floated, what if they just take the Breath of the Wild engine and stuff and make a creative
Majora's Mask-esque thing.
Because that's basically what happened with Majora's Mask, is they took Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it came out a year later.
Yeah, and just basically did something different with it.
So good.
Interesting. Never played a Zelda.
Not a single one ever.
I don't know if y'all knew that, but yeah.
Get out of here.
I know, right?
They are legitimately good games. It's not just a bunch of hot air. They're actually legitimately really good games.
I am surprised I didn't play Twilight Princess or something, because I had a Wii.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people played Twilight. I like Twilight Princess quite a bit.
Top selling Zelda game, I think.
Really?
I believe it. The Wii, there was a lot of Wiis, and that was the
and it was on GameCube as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was cross-gen. So Breath of the Wild might beat it.
Yep. All right, what's your number 9?
Number 9. This is kind of weird, actually. You all know me as a Splinter Cell fan.
I do.
But I put Splinter Cell Conviction as my number 9. And that's not really much of a Splinter Cell game, weirdly enough. It's very actiony, a lot less stealth. But looking back on it, it's just an incredible action game. It is really good to play. I don't know have y'all ever seen gameplay or anything?
I don't think so.
Man.
Or maybe
I probably have, but didn't know it was Splinter Cell.
Yeah, maybe I didn't know which one it was. But most of the Splinter Cell stuff I've seen has been stealth stuff.
Yeah, no. This one, it changes a whole lot. Basically, Sam Fisher, the main guy, he goes rogue, and he doesn't have the night vision goggles for a long time in the game, and he just is after these people that basically killed his daughter, and it's just like it's like Taken.
I was about to say, so it's
like,
Taken?
It's amazing.
Is he Liam Neeson?
Basically, it is so good though.
Now, is it as crazy as like from Stealth Tactics thing as like Metal Gear Solid stuff to Metal Gear Rising?
No, you still have to hide.
He doesn't have swords in his feet.
I wish. But do you all remember it's not as big of a deal now, but like the mark and execute feature that was pretty common in the mid 2000s, I guess. That was Conviction actually did that. So you would like mark your enemies, and then once you had enough points or whatever, you could execute all of them in one like cinematic move. It was awesome. It's a very good game.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, my number 9 is Skyrim. Skyrim, I still stand by, like, it's obviously not my favorite game of all time. It's number 9, right? But while like Skyrim itself might not be my favorite game of all time, I think playing it for the first time was probably like one of, if not my favorite gaming memory of all time. And I feel like just like Skyrim usually, for how much me and all my friends hyped up Skyrim for like a full year, if not 2 years
2011,
before.
what a
literally
time.
just like you're sitting at the lunch table and we just talk about Skyrim every single day forever and ever and ever. Even when there was nothing new to talk about, we're just talking about Skyrim. So that game should have been underwhelming to me. Like, there's no way that game never should have lived up to the hype. But playing it that first night, I remember I just basically played it from like until the sunrise, and it was everything I wanted it to be, which is insane to me. And especially at that time, I had not played that many open world games that were that open, and I remember thinking that the graphics looked so good and realistic, which is laughable now. But at the time, that game was just incredible. You felt like you could go any direction, do anything you wanted, kill this person who like, and all these quests fail. It was just like the game let you do anything you wanted to do. And just talking about that game as we were playing it, there was nothing better than that. So
I just tried messing
That's
around
cool.
around more with it in VR.
Yeah.
I remember my first time playing Skyrim. I got motion sick. Very few. That's probably different.
Yeah, I never played Skyrim either. Weird.
Yeah.
That was like my experience with Call of Duty though. It was my friend group just talking about that all the time.
It was just like nonstop, and it was. I mean, that was for like a very long time. Skyrim was the game I played. Like, I played video games, but I really only played Skyrim. Like, that was the only thing I played for like a year, because like you could, and I still didn't do everything because there's just so much to do in that game. So yeah, love it. Love Skyrim, always will.
Okay, so my number 8, Kid Icarus Uprising.
Okay. I will abstain.
The Wii U's?
No, it's the 3DS one.
Oh, okay.
Best handheld game of all time.
Oh, he's putting it out there.
Wait,
At least my favorite.
Are we counting like Switch games?
I'm not counting that. Okay, let me put it this way. Handheld exclusive.
It's a handheld exclusive game.
Put that little thing on there.
Okay.
I guess technically I got one later that was ported to 3DS, but whatever. It's just so good, man.
Carry on. Don't let me hold you back.
What is side scrolling? What is this? What is this game?
It's like a 3D action game. Go around, beat up some baddies. Very fun story. The characters are fantastic. Like, probably one of my favorite casts in video games, which is weird to think about. Like, I didn't expect that from a Kid Icarus game.
Yeah.
And it makes me want Sakurai, who does the Smash Bros. Game. Wish he made more non-Smash games.
I mean, just the fact that even like Hades is such an awesome character. It's just like characters that didn't need to be.
Yeah,
awesome.
and even
like,
the side characters,
fun.
like ones that are just bosses for a single stage are memorable and great. And a couple of those got assist trophies of Smash Bros.
Yeah.
And the designs are great. I know Darby has his.
Yeah, the only thing I'm doing all this is just the controls are like so freaking difficult, and like
I had no problem.
People
with them.
either love it or hate it. I hate it, but he loves it. Okay. I mean, it's just how this
obviously
works.
Yes. Correct. Oh yeah, just the action was so satisfying, and the great use of the variety of weapons was great, and I really liked the way they did the difficulty for each level, which added replayability. So go back. They had a little scale thing where you put gold on there, and the more gold you put on there, the more difficult it is. So the more you did, more difficult you made, the better the rewards.
Interesting. That's cool.
And they carried it over to Smash Bros.
That's the same thing in Smash Bros. Yeah.
Man, if it works, might as well use it.
Yep. Oh.
So yeah,
Nice.
All right. What is your number 8? Is that where we're at? Yeah. 8.
This is gonna be surprising, I think, for most people, but
rabbits.
it might be correct. You nailed it.
Knack 2.
I swear, all our number ones are Knack.
Knack is just my top 5.
Okay. And just KFC in general is my number 2.
My number 1 is the system settings on the PS Vita.
Sorry, well,
PS3 home screen dashboard. The Last of Us. My number 8.
Oh, wow.
Which is a little,
that is pretty low.
For most people. It very well could be because I haven't played it since 2014, I guess. But
me and Dory played it like right after it came out. So
I played it twice in 2013. I haven't played it since. Yeah.
I mean, I do not think that anything that is said about the game is hyperbolic at all.
Right.
But I don't think it's one of my personal, obviously, like top 5 games.
Hey, this is a very personal thing. I mean, there are games on here where I feel like some of the games below it are better games than the ones above it, but that's not what this list is.
No. And I can totally agree with that for a lot of these. So, yeah, Last of Us, great game. Number 8 for me.
Yeah.
I mean, well, just think. I put Super Mario Galaxy under Kid Icarus Uprising. So
that's
very personal stuff.
Very personal.
Yeah. My number 8, kind of in the similar vein of Skyrim, is Fable 2.
Interesting.
This was, like, even long before Skyrim, this was one of the games that, like, me and my sister really bonded a lot over playing this, because it's, I mean, like, I don't know if you know much about Fable, but it's, like, very, very, like, fairy tale fantasy-esque looking, which I usually don't like that kind of stuff, but it has such an awesome sense of humor. Like, it makes fun of itself all the time.
I played a touch of Fable 3, and I remember thinking, like, the self-awareness was interesting.
The British humor.
The British humor is so great. Like, everything from, like, every little item you pick up has this, like, hilarious description on it. It's really funny. But that was another game where I felt like you could just do whatever you wanted with that. Obviously, you could be good or evil. You could have a family. You could, like, have several different families in different cities that don't know about each other. You can do, like, anything you wanted in there. Yes. And it was just, like, I don't know. That game just has so much heart, so much charm. And it was one of those just, it's kind of like comfort food in a way. Like, it's one of those games I would definitely, every few years, I want to go back to and play. So I'm so excited that we're getting more Fable.
Will we get it? Will we hear about it at E3 Derby?
Probably not. I feel like it's maybe a little further away, but maybe that would be a great Xbox like reveal.
Ooh, I just realized, what if that was on Game Pass? That'd be great.
Oh, jeez.
I might use Game Pass to try that out.
Again, I will be borrowing your Xbox if you let me. If Fable happens, if not, I will run it on my laptop and hope for the best.
No, you can borrow it if it's on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Fable 2 is one of my favorite covers on a video game.
It's a really good cover with with the demon person at the bottom and everything.
It's always stood out to me.
I don't know. I can't the Fable games really have a special place in my heart for gaming. Yeah, good games.
Okay, so yes, my number 7, Dragon Quest VIII.
New Dragon Quest is coming somewhere.
Yep, of course.
Which one is this? What are they on now?
PS2 is where it's originally from. And it was ported last year to the 3DS.
Which one is coming out? Or has
11.
Okay.
This is, before this one, the last, like, regular single-player, like, console one. Because a lot of them have been, like, I think 10 was an MMO, and then 9, I think, was handheld only.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the one I watched Jeff play. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Because I was pretty young.
Yep, this is one of those games. Look back as far as like me playing JRPGs, I really love the whole turn-based aspect. I mean, that was the most original thing, obviously, but it was great. Another case of great cast of characters, which at this, notice a trend probably like with my top JRPGs, like great cast that really stand apart.
Lives and dies by those characters. Yeah.
Yep. And music's of course great, character design's great. It's been a while, but I enjoyed the story. It was kind of like pretty much generic RPG stuff, but I've done very well.
Yeah.
Akira Toriyama doing art. Obviously, I love that.
The art's
Dragon
amazing.
Ball.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I am so excited for Dragon Quest XI. And I realize we'll get more to it later. I realized at least 3 of my top 10 have sequels supposed to be coming out this year.
Nice.
So let's see if they get replaced.
Wow.
All right, number 7, Will.
Number 7. Let's see. What did I put above The Last of Us? Halo Reach. That's what I put
Get out
above.
of here.
Ah.
Yeah. Hey, again, it's a very similar vein to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, but Halo Reach actually, to me, has the best Halo story, which I know people will not agree with that at all.
I think I do agree. I really loved the different characters, like in the team or whatever.
Just I thought it was just a really well done, like pretty sad story for this like massive commercial franchise. You don't get usually something like that. So I mean, all the characters are just dead by the end of the series or by the end of the game.
Spoilers. But
so I don't know.
I'm gonna play it next week.
Dang it. So I mean, the single player campaign I thought was incredible, and it's definitely. It was during the same period as Modern Warfare 2 for me, where I was just playing a ton of online multiplayer with friends, and we used to play in Forge World, make our own maps and stuff all the time.
So much fun.
It was so good.
You lose so many hours just doing that.
And it was just one of those things where I guess I was still a little too young to be involved in that with Halo 3, but Halo Reach was just at the right time. So
yeah.
Well,
the ending of Reach hits you.
My gosh, yeah.
And I feel like Reach made more than any of the Halo games. I always liked the Halo story, but the Reach made me care about it more because it kind of goes back and shows you, and it's it kind of connects at the end. And it's the Halo world is actually pretty huge and rich, and I feel like Reach.
You weren't just like a gun-toting superhero Master Chief. Your friends die.
Yep. Alrighty, my number 7. Super Smash Bros.
Oh,
for the Wii U and that one.
Yeah.
4, right? It's unofficial 4, Super Smash Bros. 4, after Brawl, whatever. I mean, it's Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a weird one. You could fill in Smash Bros. It's kind of all of them.
Yeah, so that's what I was curious about.
I'm basically I think they've gotten better with every single one of them, honestly. So I'm going to pick the most recent one. And this is the one that freaking had the best cast of characters of any fighting game of all time, period. Yes. End of story, full stop.
What
Cloud,
were the extras?
Cloud,
Pac-Man?
Ryu, Pac-Man,
Mega Man,
Bayonetta.
That freaking dog, man.
Duck Hunt. What?
It would have been cool if they had Snake and Master Chief in there.
I mean, Snake was in Brawl.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess Drake or someone.
So I mean, that's why specifically why it's this one is just these characters coming out in the moments of Cloud announced for Smash Bros. What? Are you kidding me? Yeah. All these and just the hours that we spent on your Wii U version of that, literally hundreds of hours just playing nothing but Smash.
And as far as we go, we're not the big competitive people, so I guess partly why Melee is not our favorite. We care more about the playing with friends, so all the characters and stuff.
I actually don't if I was you can play Smash Bros. I don't want to play Melee just because again I guess I'm not that deep into the mechanics of everything.
That's true.
I think I want to play the one that has the best stages and the best characters and the best
more options to do stuff.
Yeah,
give me all that.
Yeah, I mean, and Smash Bros will always just go down. It's weird. My list doesn't not really have multiplayer games on it because it's weird. I almost think of them in 2 different classes. Yeah, because most of these games I'm thinking more about the story and the experience of playing it by myself. But you cannot, Smash Bros cannot be understated with just.
Yeah, that's why I put PlayStation All Stars, and that's why my number 6 is Super Smash Bros for Wii U.
Are we on? Okay,
that was my next one, so might as well bring that up now.
Crush it.
Go for it.
I mean, like Darby said, the best cast characters for a fighting game ever. Anyone who tries to contest it is lying to themselves.
I agree.
Unless it's Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. That's the best cast. We all know it.
Just go play Injustice, Will. Just please. Just go.
The Mortal Kombat one's better.
If you like spamming flashes, run back and forth move.
God. Oh, man. Terrible memories. Anyway.
Yeah, so pretty much what Darby said. I like the most recent one usually the most. We'll see if that trend continues because we have fears of the character roster having some
I feel like this is the first real chance for that not to be the case.
Yeah, because Cloud, for instance,
we're losing
is not a guarantee.
Honestly, that's going to be a big mark against that. I mean, it's
No. Before we judge it completely as far as character also goes, we gotta wait to see how DLC goes, Darby.
yes,
Because that's how we got Cloud Arena
it is.
and Bayonetta.
But just the sheer amount of nights that we spent just all of our friend group playing Smash.
Mm-hmm. And talking about it.
So
And
yeah,
we got our freaking Smash podcast now. That someone hasn't put up.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
School's rough. Get off. Sorry.
So I need to get my Wii back so we can play that stuff. And
What's your number 6, Will?
Number 6, Batman Arkham Knight.
Nice.
I was hoping you were going to say Origins.
It just flip off the camera,
The best Batman
flip the
Arkham.
table, walk out the room.
No, there are admittedly nights about the closer you can get to it without saying Origins.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it's one of those things where I guess I actually feel the same way. So Arkham Asylum has that very, intense claustrophobic feel that I think is classic, and I do love that game. City broadened it out, introduced, obviously the city landscape a little more. But I think even though people hate the Batmobile, and I disliked it to a degree, I think Arkham Knight was the definitive version of playing as Batman. Like going around the city, grappling up. There's so many different villains in there. You have your entire, Bat family of characters, Robin, Nightwing. You can play as them. You can play with them. I don't know. I think it's an incredible game. First game I platinumed. I liked it so much. But yeah, it's a newer one, but I really like it. Did y'all play that? I assume you did.
I did not play Night. I played City and Asylum. I think, City barely missed my list, honestly.
Okay.
Night, even though I think that came out in 2015, Night has, I think, still maybe the best graphics I've seen in a game. It's like that Uncharted and Horizon, probably. It's so good.
Remembering the Batman games makes me more excited for Spider-Man because obviously they're taking kind of inspiration from that as far as being a big open world and having villains everywhere.
Yeah. Was there a reason you didn't play Night?
It was a lot of them. A good bit of it was a timing thing. I actually have it now. When it went on a flash sale late last year, I got it for $5 or something.
You need to play it.
So
man.
I have it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, I want to.
All right. My number 6, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. God, I love that.
Honorable mention for you?
It was my number 11.
There was definitely a time when me and Jeff were kids, this was the game we were playing. Because it was definitely, there was a time where we played Smash Bros. And we obviously knew a lot of characters, but we literally, because we like video games. And that was kind of when I think we stopped liking video games for a while at some point or whatever. But we were just there. And we were literally like, hey, we like playing Ike. What game is he from? Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Hey, we should there's one coming out right here for Wii.
Or it was already out for the Wii.
Yeah, it was already out for the Wii, so we can just go to GameStop and get that. And we literally did that with a lot of them. We were like, oh, which Smash Bros. Characters do we not know? All right, let's try their games.
Yeah.
I did that with Metroid games, too. It was like, let me try some of those. Love Metroid games. But we did that with Fire Emblem, and so we really didn't know anything about Fire Emblem. We just bought it because of Ike, basically. So I didn't know what I was getting into, but the way that they did the grid combat thing or whatever, it was something I had never played before and immediately just fell in love, where you feel like this battle commander moving the troops around, and it's Radiant Dawn is brutally hard, especially when you're a kid. It's really, really freaking hard, but it's always because your strategy is not good enough. You need to improve what you're doing and finding a way, when you finally get through this level or whatever, but someone died, you have to, do I really care about them? Because, it's permadeath.
Yeah.
So it definitely, lots of, restarting the game to not lose people. And, there's certain, you'll, start out, if you, start out with a character and they'll be bad at first, some of those, by the end of the game, they're amazing. So it's you're rewarded for sticking with some of the bad troops and everything.
And I was going to go off on that. A lot of stuff Dari's saying is definitely more of that for Radiant Dawn than the newer Fire Emblem games. That whole thing that you just said about people getting better, other than Donald or whatever from Awakening, that's his whole point.
That's the obvious thing.
Yeah. The other games, in my opinion, don't have that nearly as much or done it as well. From as much as I love Awakening and obviously enjoy my time with Fates, Radiant Dawn just so much better in every single way. The story, the characters, the designs.
Yeah. The story, I mean, because the big thing about Fire Emblem is the gameplay is amazing and the journey you go on with these characters are amazing, but it makes it so much better because every single one of these characters are a fleshed out character that has this whole arc and these whole depending on how you pair them with other people and what you do, they'll have these relationships that build over time. And some of these people that I stuck with, like, by the time they're really good at combat, you've also seen them go through this whole story. And there's like 100 characters or something like that, and they're all like fleshed out like that, which is really crazy. The sheer amount of writing that had to go into that game is wild.
Also, what I really liked about that maybe some other older Fire Emblem games did, but most one haven't, is we start out with pretty much 3 different factions, and in the end they come together,
which is so cool. I wish that other Fire Emblem games would do that, because it would like flip around. You'd have like this team of people, and it would they're all in different places in this like war, basically. And they all like converge at the end.
And then when they come together at some point, you got to split off into 3 different teams, but you get to pick the team.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's just like the Radiant Dawn story is so, I mean, it's Fire Emblem perfected. I mean, like, I think all the modern Fire Emblems are really good, but they can't.
Obviously, this was in my top 10 until I remember Vesperia.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you had it here so we could talk about
yes.
it. Give it its due.
It's number 6 for me. It's pretty high. It's pretty high for me, but
so good.
I have so many good memories from Radiant
You still have that, right? Somewhere?
I think I let Alex borrow it a million years ago.
No, because it's hard to get.
Yeah, I need to ask him.
Yeah.
It's lost.
If that happened, one of us needs to buy Spoiler and just have it so we have it.
Yeah,
luckily I have my Wii U to play it on. Yeah.
Port that game. Damn it. Port that to the Switch. That would be amazing.
Yeah, bring that and Path of Radiance, the prequel one, because this is a sequel to Path of Radiance, to the Switch, and me and you finally play Path of Radiance. That's even harder to get.
Yeah.
More expensive.
All right, what's your number 5, Jeffrey?
Number 5, Kingdom Hearts 2.
There it is.
Kingdom Hearts was coming. We all knew it. Obviously, I love this game. This is probably one of the games on this list that probably doesn't age as well, and I will fully admit that. But
it's favorite.
I just love everything. About everything about it. Just going to the Disney World and the mixing of the JRPG stuff from like Final Fantasy into the Disney World is so much fun. And Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably my favorite because the console one, so it's kind of the biggest from that way. And also the combat is at least my favorite from the series, especially when you get to the harder difficulties. That's just then kind of a very solid, good action game.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously I'm very excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. And let's see if this is one of those ones I can see being dethroned. Because I tried to make a mental note of trying not put too many from a series that are similar on my list.
Yeah, I mean, I think I did that subconsciously, but I mean, I think this list is honest. So,
same thing with me. Obviously, I have multiple Zeldas and Mario because I think those different and stuff as much.
I mean, like, the gap between all these for me are very small.
Yeah,
like, it's a very small gap.
I'm pretty much saying I didn't want to. If I was being honest, I would have like maybe 3 to 4 Smash Bros on the list.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Smash Brothers series 1 through 4.
Okay.
Right. My number 5, and another reason why The Last of Us being at 8 is gonna irk people, but number 5 is Uncharted 4 for me.
Okay.
Ever since it came out, I've always enjoyed Uncharted 4 more than Last of Us. Weirdly enough, maybe not weirdly enough, because this is a more enjoyable game.
They're 2 incredible games, and from a gameplay perspective,
and just similar to Horizon, actually, just how well that game plays is what draws me to it so much. Yeah. And also, I hadn't played any of the Uncharted's before, so I played the collection like a month before this came out. So I already had like these really intense and vivid memories of the first 3 games right before I played it.
That was probably a cool way to play those games.
It was really cool.
Like going one into the other. That would be probably the best way to play those.
There was a moment like maybe at the start of Uncharted 3 where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore because I had played like 30 hours of Uncharted games. But man, Uncharted 4 is just so good. That's it.
It takes a lot of turns you're not expecting, which is weird.
It's like the very first scene or whatever when he's underwater and then he comes back up and you realize that he's just in like an urban city or whatever.
Well, it's like, and how did they manage to, in the 4th installment in this, introduce this brother that no one knew about, and it works.
Everyone's okay with it.
And it's okay. It's like, it's actually, he's probably one of the best characters there, and you buy everything that's happening. And like that just screams like, oh, we're running out of ideas. He had a long lost brother.
I gotta ask.
It shouldn't have worked.
Is he not a great guy? Because he's voiced by Troy.
He's not a
Baker.
great. He's
Okay.
not. No, he's not a great guy.
I see the trends going.
He's probably a better guy than some of the other
He's
ones
a
we've
fine
had.
guy.
Yeah, but I mean, Booker ends up being an okay guy, kind of. But he's not a great guy.
Okay, let's make sure the trend keeps on going.
Yep.
Yeah, the ending into that game is actually underrated, I think, as well. Because they
Don't spoil things. I do want Jeff to play these games.
Oh, you haven't played it at all?
He hasn't played any Uncharted games.
Well,
I
about
played
to
like
totally
half
spoil
of
it.
one.
Okay,
Don't
well,
completely spoil it.
no, yeah, it's just a lot different than what people were thinking or expecting, I think.
Yeah,
And it
very
works
big
really well.
subversion.
Yeah.
So he's not dead.
Is he?
No, they're all
They're all dead.
They're all
The
zombies.
subversion is
They're all
that they
zombies.
all died. Bomb.
No one saw it coming. All right, my number 5. Knew it was coming at some point. Sly 2.
Oh.
I got to thinking the points confused. Okay, what are Darby's games left?
So your Splinter Cell.
Yes, basically. This is one of those games, like, I completely 100% admit that from an actual, like, how good is this game, Sly has no business
From
being
a
with the rest of
Metacritic
these.
standard.
It has no business being up there because, like, at the end of the day, it's a pretty typical PS2 platformer. But this is full nostalgia for me because Sly was one of the first series I ever got into, and just, I don't know, like, it's such an awesome creative series that just has a bunch of charm and heart. And I love Sly, Murray, and Bentley, and just all the, again, like, that game has a lot of self-awareness as well, where it's, like, making fun of, like, James Bond, basically. I think that's probably part of, like, I grew up watching 007 games with my dad, and then this definitely makes fun of, like, spy movies and stuff. So that's probably partially why I, like...
Plus you get to play as the Murray.
The Murray, yeah. And Sly is still, like, the single, like, most... Like, the series that if I'm, like, in a rough time in my life, that will be where I go for comfort, is to just play it. Because they're so easy. They're just, like, simple games to go through.
Sly 5, please.
Please.
Sly Collection. Do they have one?
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I have it on PS3. I wish it was on PS4. But, and then, yeah, like, a different studio made Sly 4, and they left it on the cliffhanger, and then they're not making it. They're not doing anything else.
I always was really intrigued by those games, but I never played them. I always thought they looked good.
I honestly don't know what to tell you going into it for 2018
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I have no clue what you'll think of them coming in not as a kid. So it's Sly is one of those, like, you kickstarted ukulele. If someone came out and we were doing a spiritual successor to Sly, I would be kickstarting.
Let's hope it turns out better.
Putting out money, and I would just have to hope. I would just have to hope. I would legitimately, if someone made, like, some spiritual successor to Sly, and they just wanted me to, in my free time, help out with the writing, I would do it. I would probably do it for free and just in my free time.
Darby, what if Sanzar did that? Kickstarter.
And they come to me and they're like, "Hey, Darby,"
or just do the Kickstarter in general for a spiritual successor to Sly.
I would pay. My money would be in that pot.
Why don't you create it? You create the successor.
Anyone listening to this podcast, if they want to, like, I know nothing about game development, and it'll probably end horribly.
You'll need to go to college again.
It'll probably end terribly, but I'll learn. I can learn.
Yeah.
I'm a quick learner. It's on my resume.
I guess I can do PR for us. There you go.
Oh, man.
You just go demo it everywhere.
Yeah, it's like,
Gotcha. Okay, my number 4.
4? 3?
4.
4. Okay.
The Last of Us.
Whoa.
there it is.
Yeah. I mean, we all know.
Wait, so what drew you to that game more than the Uncharted series?
Just like I think part of it is at that point. This is something I'm probably going to mention at the end, as far as, like, mentioning the time periods for most of these games coming out in, just the blind spots. The Uncharted games pretty much came out at a time where I wasn't really playing games, and like in the middle schoolers, high school things. So a lot of the PS3 era stuff I didn't really get to. I had to go back to.
Gotcha.
So I had this, like, thing. Last of Us, part of the reason I picked that over Uncharted, because it was one game and it just come out and everyone was loving it.
And there was such a zeitgeist that our whole friend group couldn't stop talking about it.
And at least from, the whole thing of, so that's supposed to, like, be an emotional journey, and Uncharted is more just action adventure thing, which is fine, of course. It's great at that, whole cinematic thing, but that Last of Us thing, especially at the time, just appealed to me more.
Yeah.
I was actually, that's a good point, because I think maybe another reason why Last of Us is a little lower in my personal rankings is because I played it on PS4. So a year and a half after it came out or whatever, when I got my PS4. And I kept away from spoilers and stuff, but it was still so hyped up, and it lived up to the hype for the most part. Yeah. But there's still a certain point, there's a threshold.
I completely understand that. Like, we literally played it the week it came out. Like, I remember, I played it in 2 sittings. Like, I played it, like, I got it. I beat it in 2 sittings, and it's like a 12-hour game. So that's kind of sad.
Similar for me, like,
and I
3 sittings.
I did the same thing. Like, literally, it was like the next week or the week before or something was Bioshock Infinite, and I also beat that in 2 sittings, and that's also like a 12-hour game.
Wasn't high school a great time?
Oh, God! Why did I not do more things with my life? We had so much time.
Yeah.
Why? Curse.
All right. What's your number 4? Right? We're at 4, right?
We were at 4.
4. Yeah, 4.
I don't know if y'all played the series. Portal 2.
Heck yeah. Love Portal.
Yeah? You played it as well? No, okay.
In that time zone, I missed.
What can be said about Portal that hasn't been said? It's so...
I mean, it's just...
It's so smart.
I mean, like, it's honestly one of the few games that I could kind of feel comfortable saying is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know what you would do differently with Portal 2. Like, just gameplay-wise, pacing-wise, everything, like... because it's simple. It's more simple than the other games, so it's easier to be perfect. But it's legitimately, I think it's as close as you can get in games I've played to a perfect game.
I mean, it's such a simple gameplay loop, I guess.
Yeah. So
there's less problems to be had, but it's still a perfect game. Wheatley, Stephen Merchant as Wheatley,
so good,
so funny. GLaDOS.
And just the way it builds on itself. And it's like, Portal shouldn't be that. Like, the story ends up going in a direction you never expect it to. And this just started as, like, Valve's little Portal game. And it's and it's something that, like, anyone, I could hand that to my mom and she would understand it. Like, understand what's going on. Like, she might not be great at it, but she would understand. You shoot the blue portal, the orange portal, you go through there and you end up there and you solve the puzzle. Like, I could give it to my grandma and she could figure it out. I think that's a sign of amazing game design.
Yeah. It's also one of only like 2 games maybe that have actually made me laugh out loud. It is such a funny game. The writing is so great. So.
Yeah. What was like to press A to say apple or whatever?
Yeah. And then there was like what's his name doing the lemons?
Oh yeah. God, that game's so good. Okay. My number 4. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's like the most recent game that I think any of us have said so far. Maybe, I don't remember.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I know that it was just last year, but honestly, that was one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. And just the experience of, even after a year of hype, playing that game was incredible. I could not stop playing. Like, getting off the Great Plateau, just the experience, like anything you think you can do in the world, you can do. I don't know. Nintendo nailed it. We've said that so much
here, so I can join in. My number 3 is Breath of the Wild.
We're just like staggered right now.
So yeah, going on to that, I was worried like when you were you had your Switch about to play. It's like, I mean, I know everyone else thinks like, oh, we're not having this up too much.
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't. I mean, it was a year of hype, and it still like was not even the slightest bit disappointing to me. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this game so much. You know why we love Breath of the Wild. It's Breath of the Wild.
I need to play it. I need to get a Switch.
It's a masterpiece. You should. Yeah. Just take Alex's Switch. He doesn't use it.
Hey, Alex.
Has he ever really even used it?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yikes.
But they're almost like diamond rank in Overwatch, which is like top 10%.
Yeah. For Alex and his girlfriend, they both got Switches on the same time. They've been playing Overwatch.
Still on that.
They haven't even played Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, they got 2 copies of that day one.
Wow.
Yeah.
You still play Overwatch?
I played with them every now and then. Like, we just played yesterday with them, so I just pick it up every now and then.
Yeah. Were you ever into it, Jeff?
I've played. I literally only ever play with them. I've never really played on my own.
But it's fun. We definitely have a good time.
Absolutely, I enjoy it a lot. But
it's kind of one of those things. I think I'll probably, from now, as long as I have friends who want to play it occasionally, I'll keep playing that for years to come.
Yeah,
but it's just
they text me something and I'm not doing anything, so they want to play. I'm like, okay.
But I'm past the time where I'm gonna log in by myself and play. Like I used to do that, but like it's been long enough now where it's like I can just play every.
There's so many other games.
That's my Rainbow Six Siege game. It's just like only play with friends, but I play with friends a lot.
Yes, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
All right, number 3, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Oh.
Y'all aren't Assassin's Creed fans, though, right?
I'm not. So that's There was 2 and then Brotherhood and then...
Yeah, so Assassin's Creed, then 2, and then Brotherhood, Revelation.
Assassin's
I'm
Creed
not
2.5 or...
Yeah.
I'm not completely positive, but I think that's the one I got, played for like an hour, then returned it.
So Brotherhood is the one in Rome? I don't know if that rings a bell.
It's been so long, I just think it was Brotherhood. Okay. I know it wasn't a numbered entry, and that sounds right time-wise.
Yeah, that was... So I get the game... Gosh, I don't know. I guess it was around... It must have been Christmas of the year it came out, and I just played it. I just remember like basically starting and finishing that game by the time school started back. So it's just like this month span of spending with this game. It was so good.
That was such an awesome feeling back then. It was like such a fun way to play those.
Yeah, and I've always been a pretty huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I loved the first one when it came out, and I actually skipped 2 for whatever reason and jumped into Brotherhood. And Brotherhood... It's basically 2, but better, in my opinion. Like, people love 2 just because it introduced all these things.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Brotherhood is essentially that, but in Rome, and you have other assassins that can help you out. So.
Are you a big history dude?
Yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
I really enjoyed meeting
Rome is a very cool setting for that, yeah.
So.
All right. My number 3.
Wait, I just realized. I think I know what your top 3 are. I know now.
All right, what's my number 3?
I don't know the order, but I know the...
What do you think my number 3 is?
Last of Us?
No.
Witcher?
Yes. Okay. Witcher 3 is my...
That should have been an honorable mention, even though I've barely played it.
But you don't have to play much to realize how good it is. It's kind of weird because this is a game like I got in like 2015, like somewhere like not that long after it came out. It was sometime, or no, it was on Black Friday. You got it for me in Black Friday in 2015.
Oh
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, I paid him back, but he still picked it up for me. And I played it for like a while there. Like I got out of the tutorial area and did a few things, but I was like, this is good, but I have so many other things to play, and I put it down for like 6 months or something like that. And then I played a little bit more, and then I put it down for another. It was basically like a full calendar year later. I finally picked it back up again, and then it went from, oh yeah, okay, so whatever, to, oh my god, this is probably one of the best games I've ever played. Because it's like, once you get into The Witcher and you get immersed in that world, and when you're like wrapped in with it, it's amazing. And then as soon as you get wrapped in with it, it's like, oh, I have like 180 hours worth of time that I can spend.
And then there's DLC.
I still have like 40 hours of content I have not done in Witcher because of the DLC. It's just like every single thing about The Witcher, every single little side quest that in other games would be like tedious, like fetch quest, they make even the simplest fetch quest, they add some twist in it to make it interesting. And the fact that they were able to do that in a game that's like 180 hours, if you do all of those, it's insane. Like there should be fluff in that game, but there's not. Mm-hmm. Everything is polished. The characters and everywhere you go are amazing, and like all these little contained stories are just like I remember like the smallest little like monster quest, and you'll like finish that, and it'll like tie into this whole section of the game that you never would have saw. It's crazy. That game is like absurd. how much time and effort was put into that game, which gets me excited for Cyberpunk because CD Projekt is probably one of the best developers in the game right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. CD Projekt and Rockstar, I think, are like on the same level just because they wait like 7 years to put out a game, and then it's incredible.
But when they do, it's a sight to behold. So it's crazy. Like Witcher was not even on my radar before Witcher 3, and then now it's my 3rd favorite game of all time. Crazy. Witcher's good. You need to play Witcher.
You would fall so deep.
You would like The Witcher.
That's a problem though.
I know. I mean, I literally my play count was 190 hours.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's a lot of time. I mean, that was over the course of a few years, but still. All right, what's your number 3, Jeff? Or number 2, Jeff?
Final Fantasy X.
There it is. Yep.
Darby knew it was coming.
Then do I know what your number 1 is? I'll think on it. You go.
Okay, so this is like I don't know, but I don't know. Well, it was the first Final Fantasy I played, so it's one of those things like, or it may not have been my first, I don't know. But, your first Final Fantasy favorite, blah, 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 blah. But I guess as far as I go, I haven't played some of the other ones. People conceive are better, like 7, which I'm sure we'll hear about shortly. 9, 6, whatever. But like as far as like the whole turn-based JRPG thing, which obviously the way on the list I love and all that kind of stuff, like I trouble thinking of games at least that I played that does it better than Final Fantasy X as far as the each character having their roles. You have the whole grid system, which could give you more choice potentially. It's kind of very linear once you've done it and know what exactly it is, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's fun, and it has something I wish more turn-based games did, and it's part of the reason I love Tokyo Mirage so much. It had like a little turn thing at the side where it told you the order of people, and when you use speed-related stuff, how it changed and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And
the thing about 10 that I like from a gameplay perspective, I love that it took that like the 3-party turn-based thing that all the other Final Fantasy have or whatever, but you could sub people in, and that was part of your strategy, was subbing people in and everything. And as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, this should be happening more often. This is a cool thing.
Yeah, and each enemy is having like their own kind of weakness, and you have to have certain party member to really be strong against it.
Huh. Okay.
Like you could sub them in the middle of the battle, and that's the difference. Like Final Fantasy VII, I feel like there's entire characters that I didn't really get to know very well combat wise, because you choose your 3 and you go with your 3.
Yeah, with 10, you pretty much have to use everyone or you're screwed.
Yeah.
Well, I played Final Fantasy 15 for about 4 hours.
But longer than
that's my Final Fantasy experience.
Played for like 45 minutes. So
and again, I always think cast great. What all these JRPGs, it's a generic thing.
What did 10 come out on?
PS2. It's an early PS2 game.
Really good game.
Yes.
See, I went back and played Jeff's Final Fantasy. I'm waiting for him to go back and play mine. My big one.
I'm more likely to play
Which
6
is
first.
7.
Maybe.
How'd you know? Alright, number 2 for me is Mass Effect 3.
Not Andromeda?
Not Andromeda.
What?
I'm
so shocked.
Wait, see?
Which is why Mass Effect Andromeda was such a disappointment.
Now, I do want to hear this. Most people say 2.
Yes.
So, what is it about?
2's obviously his favorite, though. His favorite game ever, though.
Yeah, Mass Effect 2 is number 1.
Oh, sorry. So sorry.
So almost like Uncharted 4, where it's like I like the culmination of the story.
Right.
So Mass Effect 2. So I picked up Mass Effect 2 just because I knew Mass Effect 3 was coming out, and I was like, well, this looks like I thought Mass Effect 3 looked really cool.
Looks
really
neat.
Good. Yeah. It looks pretty neat. So I picked up
kids
Mass
say
Effect 2.
That's neat.
And played through that pretty quickly. And loved the characters and stuff and was super stoked. But Mass Effect 3, aside from maybe some indie games, I've never had a AAA game have such indie games have such. I've never, let's see, gained such relationships to the people, to the characters in the story as much as Mass Effect. It is insane. I felt like I was actually Commander Shepard in a sense, because I feel there are more and more games that allow you to have choice. But Mass Effect, actually, you define your relationship with everyone in the game, and people can die because of that. And I don't know.
And the fact those choices went over 3 games is crazy. That's even a thing that happened. They kept that going.
Oh yeah, that's part of what made it cool as well. It's like you could actually see your effects from game to game.
And not to be understated, all the sex you can have. You can have sex with all your different crew members.
I got a girlfriend in this game.
But then could you also? Is there like a robot that's what they could do? There's like this. I don't know. There was
there's a robot
that you could romance the robot.
It's like someone else, an NPC and an NPC can get together if you do the right things.
Okay. I don't care about other people's sex life.
Yeah,
I don't care about my own.
Just mine.
Yeah.
All right. My number 2, The Last of Us.
Okay.
Said enough about The Last, but I mean. That, again, it was one of those things where it's like that game was so hyped up for me and it still just lived up to everything. I did not see all the twists and turns coming with that. Joel and Ellie are probably the best video game characters out there, narratively speaking. I think I have trouble thinking of a relationship that hit me harder than they did. And that ending, and The Last of Us has the single best ending of any video game ever. It's just If you have not played The Last of Us, you are messing up.
Hey, Darby. We're hearing about Last of Us 2 in like 2 months. Confirmed.
So excited.
Does it have a better ending than
Yes.
number one?
Yes. I don't even know what your number one
We'll
is,
see.
but yes. All right.
No, it does have a great ending.
Jeff, what's your number 2?
Number 1, Darby.
Or number 1.
We're at number 1.
Sorry. Oh, this is it? This is it?
Now, this might be a little surprising. Do you know what it is, Darby?
Ukulele.
I'm really trying to, like, I thought...
It's going to be obvious once I say it, just when you think
Yeah.
about it.
Kingdom Hearts 1.
No, because I think he likes 2 more.
That game is not aged well.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 is not aged great. You already... I mean, you said Tearaway in honorable
Tales
mention,
of...
right?
It's a Tales game.
It could. I mean, I don't think Tales of the Abyss would be up here for him,
It's
but I don't think so.
Xenoblade.
Xenosaga?
Oh, those are games I forgot.
Yes, my new number 1.
New number 1, push everyone back.
I don't know. Jeff, go ahead.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, what? Wait, duh. Like,
I knew you would do that once I said
yeah, I never would have guessed it. I wouldn't have guessed that was number 1, but I should have guessed now that like it hasn't been in any of these. I should have known that it would be there.
Number 1.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had a lot of thinking about this, like...
Wow.
Yeah, I know part of it's like... So I really picked the game that just came out late last year, but it's like...
I mean, it's what you feel, Jeff.
It's what I felt. It's just from a pure fun perspective. I just can't think of a better
I get
game.
that game is gonna. I'm gonna always remember that game. It's always gonna go down.
And
I guess the only reason, like, I think Odyssey is probably better than most of the games in my top 10 as far as it being a game. But it's just, I think mostly when I think back on Odyssey, I'm gonna think about like the fun mechanics and everything. I guess it's just not gonna hit me as much.
yeah,
as
I think that's part of it because the big moments like everyone brings up, like I think those had more like emotional resonance to me than you, because
Right.
I'm more of a Mario guy than you.
Right, exactly.
So those moments are things that put ahead, and like I said, like just from a pure fun and mechanics perspective, I have trouble thinking of a better game for me than this.
No, that's awesome. That's exciting. I don't know why I didn't should have
So
guessed that.
good.
I know
Number
what
one,
yours is,
Will.
Darby.
We all know what Darby's
All right,
at this
well,
point.
yeah,
Y'all know
everyone,
what mine is?
if anyone,
I don't
if
know
anyone
yours.
listens to us, they already knew what mine was. But go ahead. I saw it on your phone, so I
sad.
I didn't.
My number 1 is Red Dead Redemption, which is funny that y'all didn't know I even played that game. But,
Wait, Darby, did you mention Red Dead at all?
I did not.
Weird.
weird. Yeah, what's wrong with you, Darby?
It was a long time ago.
Honorable mention.
These are all very good games, man.
Oh no!
They're all very good, but
I'm
I
just
like
surprised.
I like Red Dead, but probably not.
Did
as-
you finish
Okay.
Red Dead
No,
actually?
I
though?
did. I
I guess that would have.
I got to the, I was like literally like going to the like last mission, and then a bunch of stupid little kids deleted my save, and I was like, I am not going.
Do you know what
this again.
happens?
Yeah, I just watched that on
Man.
YouTube.
That ending is crazy.
That ending is
But
great.
I-
I saw it on your phone after we had that discussion. They're probably on par. Like The Last of Us and Red Dead are
It's-
probably on par with
it's
endings.
it's a special ending for sure.
Oh, it's
Just
amazing. It's incredible.
weird culmination, but yeah, I mean, I never actually played a Grand Theft Auto. Well, I had small experiences with the Grand Theft Auto. I never played a full one or anything like that. And I wasn't allowed to get this game at launch. My parents wouldn't let me. So after
violent.
after some goading,
Yeah, I'm surprised it's that and not GTA. They're mad.
well, I never played GTA either, so I never really. So I eventually I was able to borrow it from a friend. They were okay with it, and then I actually bought it, and yeah, just went through it for a while. And like I said, I 100% of that game. I'm very proud of that. That's a big game.
That is a very big game.
not Witcher level, of course, but there's a lot to do, and yeah, I never got tired of that world. I'm so extremely excited for the second one.
I am too. It's one of those like it should be on my honorable mentions in the well. And honestly, if I played it like now, it might usurp one of these. It's just been too long for me to.
It's just,
but
I think a big part of it too is just how cool it is that Rockstar, who usually makes these great but dumb GTA games, makes this like actual really good narrative experience. With
and
this
John
cowboy.
Marston is also one of the best video game characters of all time.
Agreed.
It's like,
Yeah.
All right. To the surprise of no one in the world, if you know me at all, Final Fantasy VII is my number one game of all time. This has not changed since I was a little kid. It's a lot of nostalgia, but like this game was just such an insane experience that I put so much time. I've beat it twice now, and it was like 200 hours each time. God, that's depressing.
Holy cow.
I don't think it was 200 hours the second time, but it's like the timer, the PS1 like timer thing stops at 100, and that happens like so early on. It's just, like, you lose it. But I don't know, like that cast of characters you just fall in love with. The single best thing is the music is incredible. It's some of the best music
I study
ever.
to it, and I've never even played the game.
Oh, I study to it all the time, yeah. And it just like, I don't know, like being a little kid playing those, just all the moments hit you. I mean, when you're older, you realize it's kind of cheesy, but when you're a kid, Aerith dying, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers, dude.
Hide your ears.
I was gonna play the remake in a couple of years.
I swear,
What if they change that?
I was about to say, even if you know like nothing about Final Fantasy 7, if you didn't know that she died, then I don't know what to do. I don't know what.
It's
to
the
do
video
for you.
game version of Bruce Wayne's parents died.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a
Ultimate
Final
Marvel's
Fantasy
character.
7 remake trailer that just shows her death. They're like, you know.
Show how good this looks. Look at the blood.
Just brutal, like her insides start falling
Then
off.
it's like, yeah.
I don't know. Game's always going to be.
Are you gonna play
amazing.
200 hours of the remake?
I mean, if there's 200 hours to play, I
guess
doubt
it'll
there.
be episodic.
There probably won't be because it's not going to be like the same. It's going to be something different. It's going to be like an
Streamlined.
action game. Yeah,
Maybe.
I imagine it's going to be a lot.
Who knows how that will go?
Maybe all three parts of it together might add up to be 200 because apparently it's going to be broken up into like 3 different games. Yeah, I don't know. I want to play this game again. Like this is going to be a game I'm going to play every few years until I die, probably, because it's just so good. And it's one of those like not everyone's going to like it as much as I do, but I do stand by. I think you're going to like this game whenever you do finally play it.
I know.
I mean, like it's just like it's legitimately.
It's like The
a
Witcher.
really
It's just
good
so
game.
long.
I know. It's so hard. It's so hard when you're not a high schooler
Yeah.
to play these things.
I know I have my PS3. Obviously, I'll just get on my PS4. Put it on Switch.
All right, and thus ends the longest podcast I think we've ever done in our
No
lives.
way.
2 hours 13 minutes. I had a lot of fun though. I knew it was
50th.
It's the 50th
Extravaganza.
one. Whatever.
I was
It's
happy. Like the
screw
news
it.
thing ended a little over an hour. Oh yeah, I have an announcement to
Oh.
kind of relate to this.
Mute.
Or announcement something I want to try to do. Okay, so
I'm so sorry about the camera, everyone. Just continue on.
okay, so yeah, I briefly mentioned before. If you've really analyzed my list, you noticed like Super Mario 64 is like the earliest game on my list
Yeah.
because
It's
that
in
was
my
when I was a
honorable
kid.
mention.
Yeah, it was when I was a kid. That's when I really started playing games or whatever. I would pay attention and pick games of my own and stuff. So I missed a lot of the early games. I have an SNES Classic, so I have decided making this list. I'm just gonna go through it. My SNES, I'm gonna make that something I try to do,
Okay.
and
Yeah, that'd
maybe
be-
make it a
I
segment
watched
that's
that
like
as
Jeff Goes Retro or something, or do something like that.
Whoa,
Go through it
We should
That'd be
do
cool,
like,
because
we
there
should
are
do
a
like
lot of all-time greats on that thing. I know.
We should do like a separate video thing for each one of them,
Yes.
where I'm just talking to you or something, and
We should do it. I've looked at went through how long to beat for like all the
it
games.
has an HDMI, right?
It does.
So we can capture.
We could
stuff.
capture
We
stuff.
can capture stuff.
I decided I want to do that because that could influence my list greatly.
Work
if I
with
did
me
that.
on it and like figure out what you would want, like for the. I know we're just like brainstorming this on air or whatever. If someone's this long into this podcast, I don't think they care. Just like tell me what you want from it. Like work with me on it, and like I can try to like have like you in one corner and like the video doing something else.
Okay.
Doing whatever. We should do that.
Let's do it.
Do that.
There's a lot of like I said, a lot of all-time greats on there. Like a lot of people's favorites.
One of us needs to have played Final Fantasy VI. It's kind of
Yes.
embarrassing.
Yes. And that could like I said, greatly change my list potentially depending how those games go.
Yeah, there's a lot of these like Super Mario 64, obviously, and Ocarina of Time. I love those games, but it's like I played those games so long ago, and I was so young when I played it. It's like they don't completely have the nostalgia factor that like Sly and some of these and Final Fantasy 7 that I played when I was a little bit older. It's just like I was more like I remember those more, and I was like knew what I was doing more. Like Super Mario 64, like, that was so long.
I
ago.
think what helps for me for those games on Ocarina of Time is I'm 2 years older than you. That doesn't mean much now, but at that time,
It did,
that meant a lot.
Yep. That's why you were more. I mean, and because all these games I played at your house, I never had a 64.
Yeah.
So
And I replayed like Majora's Mask Ocarina of Time or 3DS.
Yeah.
Y'all were lucky. Y'all had a 64 out of Sega Saturn.
Pour one out.
I think Sega announced a Saturn Mini last night.
Why?
Did they really?
Or it might have been announced. They announced something.
Sega has like a lot of the mini thing. They've been doing that for a long
That's
time.
weird.
I had a Genesis. I played lots of Sonic,
But
and in that
the
Lion
thing they
King
announced
game.
has Shining Force on it. That's a great game.
Okay. All right. Thank you for listening to the episode 50 Spectacular Nerds of Large Gaming Podcast.
Ah!
Yeah, we did everything.
We did
Is that our
everything.
surrender flag?
Yeah.
We surrender.
We surrender.
This is the end.
Yeah, it's the end. It's been a good run.
Yeah. We made the 50. That's all we
We
wanted.
made it. Woo! Thank you so much.
Bye.